everybody? Welcome to, I guess, a much bigger stream than usual, from what I can tell by the gang in the chat. How's everybody doing today? We got a, I guess, big Thursday planned. We got a lot going on. We got a lot going on today. I guess by a lot, we got one thing. Good, awesome, glad to hear it. Very happy to hear it. That's right, chat. Today we're taking a look at some indie card gaming. They're going to have icons, but they are not iconic. That is so true. That's so true. You were so correct. All right, chat. I mean, I don't think there's much to discuss ahead of the main event, so I think we'll just dive right. We'll just waste no time. Everybody's here. I guess there's no need to do a wacky preamble while we sit around and wait. So let me go ahead and pull up this, and then we're kind of just good to go. Some scrap mechanic drill thunder. I mean, yeah, digging can be fun when it's titled Scrap Mechanic Drilling Thunder. Like, come on, guys. One of the, like, first video games ever was about digging, don't you know? They're about to make a Tom Cruise movie about digging. One of the best movies ever made, starring Shia LaBeouf, was about digging. So, like, diggy hole, exactly. Digging is way more, based than, you could ever imagine. Dig Dug, yeah, exactly. Good art. I'm excited. Yeah. Vanguard art, tall order. Good as art as Vanguard. That's a big ask. I mean, it's an ask I would love to see fulfilled. I don't know. I would love to see that, but I'd be very impressed. We'll say that. I'd be very impressed. Let's just dive right into it, chat. What are we talking about today? For those that don't know, we're taking a look at Eikonic, the trading card game, a new Kickstarter game that launches today. I swear, chat, I didn't even plan this. I complete on accident. It launches right now. You can go back to Kickstarter literally right now, and we will take a look at it in a second. Why is my camera not correct? Hold on. Sorry, this looks wacky. I don't like it. There we go. I want to be a little more centered. Look at that. There we go. Money. Already 200% funded. Let's go. Granted, to be fair, the percent funded sometimes means literally nothing, depending on what the initial goal is. So that is always one that I take with a little bit of grain. Like, so you'll see some projects that are like 2 million% funded, and you're like, what? And it's because they like started it with like a funding goal of 1 cent, and you're like, okay, sure, dude. You know what I mean? So the percentage is always to be taken with the grain of salt. The money is what matters. And 27,000, and like that's a couple hours. That's pretty good. Pre-Kickstarter advertisement job. Well done. Very good. Very sugoi poggers. But I'm sure plenty of people in here, maybe not as many as I think, don't know what the heck Eikonic is. So we should probably talk about that a wee little bit. New card game coming out. So, as you will notice, right off the bat, we do know how many backers it has. I'll get to that when we go to... Actually, let's just start with the Kickstarter. We'll come back to the website. Let's just go straight to the... IF11 by OBS. Oh! Oh, chat. I've soiled it. I can go to the Kickstarter right now. So the Kickstarter, as of now, we have 76 backers at $27,000. That's pretty good. Way to go. Eikonic. So for those that do not know, let's take a what's the video? Is it the new ad? Oh, here we go. Beautiful. Pretty good. Looking pretty solid. So for those of you that may have noticed right off of the bat. This is a tactical card game, which if you're like a TCG boomer, you will probably have come to know that as instant giggle red flag, uh-oh, stinky, bad news bears. But this one actually does it fairly well. There are a lot of old tactics games that get really bogged down in trying to be a miniatures game more than they are a TCG, and they've all died instantly. The funniest example is the Force of Will one. I forget what it's even called. That game was hilarious. It died on the spot. Eikonic seems to have kind of cracked the code, figures out what actually makes like the grid-based stuff good, and has removed all of the stuff that makes it sucky and bad, which is nice to see, which is very, very reassuring. Actually broke the norm of that. It's guts off. Yeah, right? So it's like, whew, very nice. Luckily, games like Sorcery have recently normalized the grid thing, because for the longest time, the biggest complaint or like setback for these grid-based games is that players can't really have custom playmats. You need to have a playmat with zones. A playmat with zones is a requirement for gameplay, and that can be a big stinky for some people. But luckily, with the recent success of things like Sorcery, we've kind of like broken that stigma, and it's been like, whatever, man, just play on the playmat with zones. Just play on the playmat with zones. So we'll see. It's just ZX, yeah, right? And we didn't have that in English, right? Every other game that tried to do it kind of flopped immediately for like a multitude of reasons. So hopefully Eikonic is able to kind of crack the code and push through that. And the Kickstarter is already successful, so like that's great. Already off the bat, very, 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 very good. Let's dive in. Let's go back over to the main website and dive in a little further as to like what is exactly going on here. So chat, you can already see off the bat, art pretty good. Art pretty good. Dropping like I gotta catch this stream, huh? Okay. Stream later. Oh, valid. Hey, good thing about YouTube, you can rewind and then the VOD's on the channel. YouTube is low key clutch for that. So something you'll notice, right off of the bat, art's pretty good. The art's really solid. A big problem with a lot of like indie TCGs is the art can be kind of It can be kind of or like whatever, right? Eiconic's art kind of banging out the gate, very surprising. That's what shocked me off the bat. Art's very, very good, very solid. So I'm a big fan of that. We got some colors. We gotta have colors. I do like this array of colors. It's the 4 elements plus light and dark. I feel like that's a classic. Can't really go wrong. Big fan. What else do we have? I did a little bit of exploring on the website, but not a ton. I think we're going to find more on the Kickstarter. Yeah. Okay, here we go. There's some cards. Cards look good. Can they just do it? You guys have a field center? Kind of. Sort of. This one isn't too bad. There is a center zone. So you just have to be like really vigilant about it, if that makes sense. Because not everything is like intrinsically connected to this field center, which I guess you can say about Yu-Gi-Oh's like back row, right? And I think the way you deploy cards, they have to be connected to other cards. So you could probably get away with the field center. You just have to make sure stuff doesn't go a little slippy slidey. But I think you can totally get away with the field center. If I'm trying to like really quickly run through the like scenarios in my head of like, where would that go awry? But I think you could. I'm not seeing where it's really, because everything is connected enough in the same way that Yu-Gi-Oh does, and columns matter extremely in Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Because you just have field center, this is the EMZs, and then you have front row, you have your monster zones and spawn trap zones. So you probably could get away with the field center. Yeah, no, that should be good. And then a starter marker. Yeah, you would just, because your icon starts in the back here, right? So you would go field center, and then you'd measure 2 card lengths, and then just put your icon here, and then you're basically set, because everything that comes in kind of sprouts off of this, right? And then as long as players are like managing the area well enough, the only thing I can really think of is it could make the decision making of the game even harder than it already is. Because, like, imagine playing chess with no squares. Could you do it? Yes, but it becomes a little tricky to kind of like think about your moves and actually move the game pieces around in your mind, right? Like, yeah, like you probably could, but I don't recommend it. I have the mental chessboard, right? So like the zones really help your brain kind of parse the battlefield a lot and help you actually like figure out where you want to move your stuff and where it's going to end up once it's there. I think without the zones, the kind of like movement planning can get really, really tricky and complicated to the point where like you're almost playing mental magic. Um, so it would be like I would be a little careful about grid-based games in general. So in general, it can be hard if like so for what I said, how bad do you need the zones to know where everything is going? Um, some games will have you won't like deploy units from like a central location. If you can just put cards wherever, right? Let's say I have a field center. How do I know where this zone is? You'd have to constantly like measure out via cards where everything is, and that just kind of get tedious. And if you bump things the wrong way, they'll slide out of position, and all of a sudden you've like moved this into this zone on accident. Oops. With Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's just a front row back row like 5x5, you can measure everything, be equidistant from the field center. But if I can just put stuff wherever, if your grid is too big, it can get really complicated. Like especially like it's not the worst thing in the world, but I definitely wouldn't recommend it. Whereas in a game you can do it just, yeah, right. I think the final statement would be like you technically could, but I would not recommend it because you're gonna probably run into some unforeseen issues. I would play it safe and stick with the zones, especially in this game where you're just like moving stuff around. Because that's the thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff doesn't like move zones. Once it's there, it's there. You just gotta know where it's going. In games like these, stuff's always moving around, and you have to kind of be able to track that and make sure you know everything is, and that can get a little dicey if you don't have zones and stuff. Especially if stuff starts sliding, then it's like, oh wait, hold on, where's this in relation to this? Because this moved a bit, that puts this over here, and it's just kind of a disaster. So yeah, I would probably stick with the mat if you can. But again, that could be one of the difficulties with the grid-based games. Is like you kind of need the mat, or you're gonna have some problems. But all in all, it's pretty fine, and this is a pretty good way of doing it. You won't run into like too many issues. But yeah. So like we were saying earlier, art, very good. I mean, that's a big thing nowadays, right? Especially if you are going to be a game that doesn't have some kind of IP behind it, right? Some kind of IP. Yeah, I mean, if you have the move, man, you can move. But for the most part, it's not happening on average. Rampaging Rhinos. I'm sorry. Actually, with my one, this Yu-Gi-Oh card that was released in 2013, on the side set, you can actually move over. So, actually, you can move cards. Therefore, you're dumb and stupid. You work for tabletop tactics game, it would be extremely hard to play without a playmat. Yeah, right. Like you would just run into some situations. It's kind of also like the same thing of like you shouldn't play like when you go to like Magic tournaments, you can't track your life total with a D20 because if you do bump the table, you're cooked. Now, granted, how often do people bump the table? Not very often. That's why I use D20s at your locals all the time. But in the event that it does happen, you are like giga cooked. So it's better practice just not do it at all in the first place to just completely save yourself from that scenario, right? So this is kind of one of those situations of like you can probably get by with just a field center. A, it's going to make playing the game harder because you can't like mental map it as easily when you want to move stuff. But B, if stuff does go awry, repairing the game state is basically impossible without the mat. So I would just save yourself and save your brain and get the mat. How far are we into the live? Well, if you're on YouTube, little tech, if you just like grab the slider and throw it back to the beginning, it tells you in negative minutes. But we just started. 20 minutes. We literally just started. I haven't even gotten to like showing the stuff yet. We're just getting everyone inundated. But yeah. Oh man, I need to get it. What the? Alright. This is gonna be a pain in my butt. Haven't had this problem in weeks. There we go. Alright, we're good. Earn which life point total, casual win tournaments. Write that thing down. Oh yeah, you can't do like the mental life points. Oh, that's a disaster. See, bumping tables a real possibility. Yeah, right. It can totally happen. Granted, does it happen all the time? Not really. But if it does, like, it's over. You know what I mean? That game state is basically unrepairable. And it's also why the other reason too. It's like it's all little life tip. If any of you guys are going to like competitive events and stuff, and your game has life points or any kind of life total, always track your life on a pen and paper, because if there ever is a life point dispute, the judge is always going to rule on the side of the player that has a written down history of all of the life point changes, right? If you have a calculator that just says you're at 15, right, and your opponent has you at 16, a judge is going to go with the player that has it written down that you went from 20 to 22 to 18 to 15, right? Just having a written history of the life point changes is enough that judges will just automatically side with you. So it is actually imperative that you always write down life totals so you don't get you're not on the poor receiving end of a life point dispute. Little pro tip. Battle theme, the battling in this game, we'll get to that. No, the battles are cool. The battles are really cool. Write down numbers in a bunch in the college judge. You could do that, yeah, right. And then obviously at that point you're gonna have to have a very believable story as to why there is such a discrepancy, right? If you're just writing down nonsense and can't back it up, then the judge is going to be like, all right, you're going crazy. So you will need to have a good story to go with it, but yeah, you kind of could do that. Technically, you'd have to be really clever about it. I also don't condone doing that. It's also not going to work ever, probably, so don't. But for like legitimate disputes where both players are like, I don't know what happened, the judge is just going to rule with the person that has a written down history of the changes, more likely than not. But yeah, big good news off the bat regarding Iconic is that the art is very good, which is extremely important, especially in today's, overbloated, highly inflated TCG landscape. If you're not going to have a IP that you can just coast off of the back of, having original art having good art, is so imperative, because people, unless you're like, deranged like me and just love card games, people aren't really going to give it a second look. You got to like stand out somehow. So it's good to see that the iconic art is very, very good. I like it a lot. It does do one of the things that I'm not a big fan of, in that the art styles are pretty distinct. You know what I mean? Like some of the card art is like very different from other cards. Can I zoom in on this at all? Even this is pretty good. So like this and this are pretty nice, right? These are very different. Now, I'm not saying one is worse than the other, but they're very different. And differing art styles can be a bit of rocky territory. It can be great. It can be really great, but it can also be really jarring, and you have to be really careful in doing that kind of stuff. It gets a little tricky. So, personally, I like to see games kind of like lock in on one-ish style and kind of go with that. But it can depend. Distinct art card art reminds me of early Yu-Gi-Oh! And Vanguard, right? And it's like, that's cool. I'm happy that you like it. Right? That's awesome that you like it. But I'm saying, like, there's a difference between, like, slightly different art styles and then, like, cards that look like they're from different games. Right? What's a good example? I can't remember if this is a good example or if the art, I just don't like the art. I'm not gonna lie. Let me pull up Primal real quick. Is Primal a good art? Yeah, right. It's more about consistency rather than like how good the art is. So like Star Wars. Oh my, what the? Star Wars had a big issue with this when Star Wars Unlimited came out. A lot of people complained that the art style was extremely inconsistent. It was good, but it was really all over the place. And people were like, "Can you please just like pick one instead of just being this like mishmash pile of art?" People really wanted them to pick one, and they did, and they've been doing that sort of ever since. I can't remember. I don't remember if Primal has this problem or if I really just don't like. Oh no, it does. In the set one has this problem a lot. Whereas card set, what is it? It's this one? Yeah. Different art styles are really consistent. Yeah, right? Like I wouldn't say Digimon has different art styles, right? I wouldn't say like super different. But like obviously every artist is gonna draw in their own style. But everything across Digimon is very consistent, and when you look at it, you're like, yeah, it's a Digimon card. Right? Vanguard is the same thing. You look at any Vanguard card, you're like, that's a Vanguard card. Um Primal, I know at the very start was really all over the place. Um so you have the anime pirates, and like this stuff's great. You have anime pirates, and then you have the Pokemon. And it's like that's not too bad. That's not too bad. But then there's some of the Plague Doctor art that is like straight up a Magic the Gathering card. You have hyper realistic dragon, right? Like this is definitely from a different game than this, right? And this is a pretty different game than where's like the anime than this, right? This is like a Mortal Kombat character, right? This art style is very different than this. And a big thing is like it doesn't feel like these people are in the same world. Like this person is in a very different universe than this person. And if your game's whole bit is that it's like, yeah, each color is a different universe and world, and it's about these universes and worlds colliding, then the like juxtaposition of art style can work if it's like on flavor with the game. But if you're meant to like, if these guys are supposed to be in the same place, I have a hard time believing that this guy, this chick, and this chick all hang out together. You know what I mean? It looks very, very different. So like, again, not saying it is bad, right? But these guys, right? These ladies feel like they're from very, very different, like, shows, right? So it's more like I like to see a consistency of style, not necessarily like you have to hire only one artist and have them draw all of the cards. Like, that's not what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I just prefer a consistency of style where I look at the card because I want to be able to look at the card and be like, oh, that's from this game, right? Like you can show me any Vanguard art and I'll be like, that's from this game. It's a little even like another like decent example is actually that's not a decent example because Daisuke does the same stuff all the time. A lot of Vanguard art, a lot of Vanguard artists also do art for Duel Masters. Outside of a few exceptions, like Daisuke Izuka kind of just draws the same thing every time. He just draws the same dragon over and over again, but I love him for it. It always looks cool. But you can tell which art is from Duel Masters and which art's from Vanguard, right? And it's more so not making sure the artists all draw in the same style, but having an overall consistency of style for the entire game is much appreciated, at least in my opinion. Now, granted, I'm just some stupid YouTuber. Take my words with a gigantic grain of salt, right? But like, at the same time, typically, I see more people complain about very varying art styles than I do not see them complain. And also, that number will be skewed kind of based on like the popularity of the thing. So like a lot of people that are invested in like indie Kickstarter TCGs are going to be a lot more like, yeah, man, I love all of the art, right? But then you get to a game like Star Wars, which is like everyone's looking at, right? Any Star Wars enjoyers looking at, you're going to get some wildly different takes. So like that's also like low key important. How artists, I think CRM might be more impactful to people. Like that too, right? In IP games. Oh, in IP games, it's super. Yeah, no, in IP games, it's super important. The Star Wars thing was they kept going. Like you would have cards that. So like I can actually. I think it's Han's. Is Han Solo a good example? I think there should be two. Yes. Okay. Here's a great example. This is one Han Solo leader card, and then this is just another Han Solo leader card. The leader Han, yeah, right? So, like, this is kind of what they were talking about, where they're like, all right, these are pretty dang different, right? This is a style that's meant to emulate the realistic look of the movies, and this is cartoon Han Solo. And this was pretty jarring overall. And then even this is, like, kind of a different Han, right? This is you have comic book Han, you have movie Han, and then you have cartoon Han. And people were like, okay. We gotta lock it. We gotta focus in a little bit, right? It's okay to do some things pretty differently, but like we gotta choose if we're gonna be cartoon Star Wars or movie stylized Star Wars. That's sort of more what it was about, and where people had a bit of problems with it. But yeah, Gate Whirler does it well as different art styles do their very own style, right? Because so Gate Whirler is a good example of what I meant, where it's like it's supposed to be clashing because the whole bit is that it's all of these different worlds colliding, so they need to feel extremely different. Like I can pull up Gate Whirler, and you can tell because every card from every like world is consistent with itself, with every archetype, right? All of the gold cards are these super fantastical, big, crazy dragon monsters. It's like the legendary super world, right? Now, granted, at the beginning, it wasn't super consistent because you still had cards like this in the pink world that was meant to be the space world. This is just a straight up Warframe character, right? But most of like the cosmic world is really like goofy and like out there anime-y. I wonder if I can find it. This isn't the greatest example. That's like a Duel Masters card. Where's like the space cowboy guy? I don't know. But like the pink world was meant to be like pretty like spacey and cartoony and zany. The blue world was like very Ghost in the Shell, cyberpunk-y-ish, like militaristic realism. And the red world was all like super Japanese yokai stuff. So the way in which everything clashed was like intentional. And if that's your goal, I think that's fine. And at that point, you need to make sure all of like the worlds are internally consistent, right? But Gate Whirler did a good job of like doing the like mishmash styles, because that was kind of the bit, is that you're like pulling from all these different worlds, and because it was a Ikeda game, they got to reuse a bunch of assets from Force of Will and Buddy Fight. So you had like, is there the Jackknife Dragon starter? It was with this. Oh, this is a Buddy Fight card. No, this is a Duel Masters. No, that's a Buddy Fight card, I think. Can I find the Jackknife starter? I probably have to scroll for it. He just straight up put Jackknife Dragon and Alice from Force of Will in this game. It was kind of crazy. So this one is very intentionally all over the place. I think it's like having a bad CG multitude. Yeah, right. It stands out and it's a little jarring. So if it's not supposed to be jarring, be like, maybe different styles work better if used with less frequency for supporting cards. You could do that. That'd be fine. Pokemon styles. So like the classic example people bring up is Pokemon, right? For differing styles. The thing is, there's a very specific reason that they did these differing styles, and they're as wildly different as they are. And it's because Pokemon has to print the same monster over and over again, right? Pokemon, like by necessity, has to print 1,000 different Pikachus, right? They only have like this base set of monsters to work with, and every set needs a lot of Pokemon cards in it, right? When kids start just ripping packs of trainers, they're gonna get mad. So they have to make the same Pokemon over and over and over again. So the way they made it not feel repetitive and boring is by making them in very, very different, distinct art styles, which works really well when you are printing the same character over and over and over again. It makes that feel way less boring, and it's like, oh, another Pikachu. It's like, no, this time it's Pikachu, but he's made out of yarn. And you're like, whoa, that's sick. And you don't even like notice that it's like the 5th Pikachu in the set, because they're all so different. I all feel like different Pikachus, right? Well, this Pokemon's my example. Yeah, right? Like, that's the reason they do that, is because they're printing the same character over and over and over again. So when you're not doing that, that's when you'll start to notice, right? When I print a red card, right, and then I print the Gary Oak card, but this time Gary Oak's made out of yarn. You're like, what? Whoa, what? Huh? That's when it gets like a little bit jarring. But yeah. Yeah, I think they use some Battle Spirits artists for gate rollers. That's probably why. But yeah, I think a better up again. Meeting those characters. Absolutely, no, absolutely. But that's more of like a personal me thing. Like I made a big stint out of this for the Cyberpunk game of like I think Cyberpunk has this problem right now. If we pull up the Cyberpunk TCG, I would really prefer to see them lock this. So I would love to see them lock into like this art style. I think this looks really cool. But like they're really all over the place. So like a lot of their cards look like straight up like splash. So there's like they have like the comic book art, and then they have stuff that just straight up looks like splash art you'd see in like a loading screen. That's not like the worst example ever. That actually is just splash art from the game. I think there's like a Goro card that looks like it. There's that. There's like the super hyper stylized comic book art here. Like this looks like it's out of the video game. This is from a This looks like it's from a comic book. I would love it if they just like buckled down and like just did this style. I think this style looks really, really good. If all the cards were in this style, it helps make it feel like the game is taking place in the same world. It helps make it feel like everything is from the same world. Like a pretty good example is like Vanguard kind of needs to have a consistent art style because all the units are so different. You have the Kagero dragons with the Neo Nectar flower princesses next to the Aquaforce freaking naval brigade riding seahorses next to Gundams fighting each other right next to evil crazy vampires. In order for all of that to feel like they live on the same planet, that you have to have some sort of like consistent style to it, or it's gonna feel like this weird like hodgepodge of things. But it's not a hodgepodge of things. Like Cray is a planet. All of these units are from that planet. Things from the same planet should probably look like they're all from the same planet, right? Even if like aesthetically they're extremely different. I think Cyberpunk is kind of in a similar situation of like everybody needs to look like they live in Night City, right? And I get that like this game could also do the Pokemon thing of like, yeah, we're actually just going to print Jackie Wells and V 17 times and everyone's going to have a different art style. And it's like, do we really want to do that? Or how about instead of making it like Cyberpunk 2027, the Johnny Silverhand card game, what if instead we made it the Night City card game? And it is now a card game that just takes place in Night City, right? Cyberpunk Edgerunners proved that's a very compelling narrative. And it's a really cool set piece. So it would be really, really nice if the cards also kind of reflected that, so it feels like everybody's from the same world. Now, granted, Cyberpunk is such a unique style in and of itself. You can draw Jackie Wells in 19 different ways and still be able to tell that it's a Cyberpunk guy, because like everyone's chromed out and covered in hardware. So that one's a little easier to get away with. But some like I would prefer personally. I like when original IPs have a pretty consistent art style, so that way it feels like every card I see, I can instantly recognize that, oh, these are from the same world. And the Bushira prints the same red dragon, slightly different silhouette for the 50th time. Yeah, that's called Kagero. And if you want the thunder flavor, you go play Narukami, right? That dragon's from the Kagero clan, and they all look awesome. Every single dragon looks sick. I love the Vanguard dragons. They look really cool. I feel competitive to put orbs on all my dragons for some reason. Orbs look great. Vanguard has a lot of cool orb dragons. I think Duel Masters also has a lot of cool orb dragon. Naruto kind of how to review it. That's why they end up stuck in the comic art. Oh yeah, Naruto, you're like, we printed chibi versions of the character. You know what I mean? You can't like style for that like an anime game. That's really hard to do. To do like that kind of wacky stuff, that gets really tough. You're kind of locked in the screenshots. But now this is mostly just a personal preference of mine. But I do vastly prefer when card games have a fairly consistent style to them, so it doesn't look like all these characters from Night City look like they're from like 3 different things. That's where I get a little you know. So I would love it if they stick with this. I think this looks really good. I am not a big fan. All of these look pretty solid. I like all of these. Well, show me the video game. There's some cards that are just portraits of the characters, and I really don't like those. This one, I don't like this. This one I don't really like. Like, this is a cool art piece, but, like, I don't really like seeing this next to this. Well, next to this. It feels a little too different. But That's enough of my tirade. That's enough of my tangent. Let's go back to talking about Iconic. How the frick do you play this game? How the heck do we play the Iconic card game? To do that, we're gonna slide over to the handy dandy table cam. Let me move some stacks of cards out of the way so my room doesn't look like more of a mess than it actually is. There we go. All right, cool. There we go. That's like Vanguard Giants. I don't know what this is. So nations are a different problem. Nations, different thing. I mean, technically nowadays every nation has dragons. It's just that the Dragon Empire has more dragons than the rest of them. But you can find dragons everywhere. They got dragons all up in this place. Oh, hey, how's it going? How's it going, King Okaze? So luckily, I punched the mic. So we were talking about how you kind of need a playmat to play this game. Luckily, the kind folks over at Eikonic sent me this really cool cloth, like bandana material, playmat. I think this is really nice. I'm actually kind of a big fan of this. So let me get this. As you can tell, it's a little large for my desk. It is a 2-player mat, and my desk is super tiny. But I'm just going to do my best to get this. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Looking good. Oh, yeah. So we have a handy-dandy mat that we can use to talk about the game. I'm actually going to pull it down a little bit. There we go. Look at that. Yeah, this thing is... I remember that Dragon Empire had less dragons beginning of Overdress. Compared to what? Because Dragon Empire, the main grade 3 was a dragon. These come with the starters? Oh, that's actually sick. The cloth mats come with the starters? Sorry, my fan is blowing it. That's actually huge. That's so nice. Because again, like we were saying earlier, some of the biggest setbacks for games like this is you have to have a mat. And as we know, a lot of trading card games come with the stupid paper mats, which, like, not only are they not great, but if you use them consistently enough, they naturally just fall apart and crumple. So having this in the starter deck is actually so clutch. So humongous W from the folks over at Eikonic. That's super, super nice. But yeah, hopefully we'll be playing the character we see on the mat. We sure will, because she's right here. She's right here. Yeah, they love dragons. You had Eugene and Nirvana, which looked more like a chicken. I mean, yeah, we got the chicken. We got the Nirvana chicken jokes. We got those going, that's for sure. But it was a dragon, kinda, sorta. All right, let's bust into it. Let's bust it open. Let me do that so I can kind of see. I need to get a better camera, guys. My camera low-key sucks. Ooh, we got rule book. So nice to see. I'm getting a little sick of card games giving me stupid QR codes that I have to scan that take me to like 5-minute YouTube videos that tell you like 2 of the rules. So this is a great include. And it's a nice like book, which is cool. Oh yeah. Okay. We got some fine literature. Love to see that. I miss rule books, dude. Which is such a crazy thing to like have to say. But man, I miss rule books. Oh. That's nice. Like having a book and like low-key biggest saving grace of the cloth mat is you can't print the rules on the back. I mean, maybe you could, but they'd look terrible. So like you can't print the rules on the back, so you have to do this, which is so nice. So I much appreciate this. The amount of time you have, let's like play the Kodak clip of the, oh, how do I read? I'm in the middle of the game. Let me check the rules real quick. Ugh. It's so lame. Like, I get it, but it's so lame. Just do the thing where you have to, or just put 2 playmats in or something, you know what I mean? So Iconic, I saw the game wasn't founded the first few times because of UI and too much info slapped on the cards, so seeing less stuff in the card sounds promising. Yeah, that'll be nice. I think also there was much less of a marketing leading up to the Kickstarter. It kind of like not shadow dropped, but like kind of shadow dropped, and that can be tough for Kickstarters. You need a bit of a like pre-Kickstarter like hype cycle going. And that's how you get it to be like it is like right now, where it's like, oh, you see a lot of Kickstarters get funded on like not even day 1, but on like hour 1, like Iconic, and that's thanks to like a pre-Kickstarter hype cycle, which is like borderline necessary for getting Kickstarters off the ground. So really happy to see they did that, and that the game has successfully launched right off the bat, and they can get to producing it. I was saying QR code with the letter. I did get the QR code. I opened the QR code. And I was like, QR code, man. And then I popped the box and I'm like, rule book, yes. Okay, we're cooking. I also had just assumed it was like a demo box. I'm like, oh yeah, they can't send me rules in the demo box. Okay, that's fine. But the rule book's in the demo box. That's awesome. So really like that. The rules in rubber. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. You've got to stop right there. Pretty consistently in the general TCG subreddits, that's pretty much the marketing I saw for this game. Yeah, but you saw it. You saw it. That's what counts. That's what counts. You saw the thing. So yeah, what I have are the demo decks that have like the like old layout. So maybe I'll throw up some examples of the newer thing. Ooh, these feel nice. Ooh. They're like the cards are like matte. I kind of like that. That feels cool. Ooh. Yeah, those feel really nice. I like that a lot. You ever bought a starter deck for WoW TCG? But I love the deck box they use because it feels like an older computer game box. Oh, I have not bought a WoW starter deck. But that sounds kind of nice. So I will throw up like comparisons on screen so we can kind of get an idea of what the newer layout looks like. Because I do think it now granted, I personally didn't hate the old layout. I didn't think it was like that problematic, but I could understand some people's like grievances with it. And I do really like the new layout a lot. So let me get how do I want to, I mean, we'll just jump back and forth, right? And you can see this is what the cards look like now, but we'll come back to that in a second. Yeah, bring back cool deck boxes for starter decks. That'd be kind of nice. So Iconic is a game. It is it's a leader game. Oh no. Bacon Saber talking about a leader game. You freaking hate those. Not entirely. I hate it when the games have leaders for no reason. This game has a leader for a very good reason. It does the thing that I really like, where it's if you're gonna have a leader game, I need it to be a playable game piece on the board that matters, right? Star Wars does this very well. Vanguard, the whole game's freaking built around it. And similarly, Iconic is also built around it because your leader is sort of just like the my headphones
has donated $1.99.
That's also true. This game is frame first. We'll talk about that in a second. That is super true. I will when we get to like the actual cards, I'll talk about the frames. I do like them a lot. I like the frames a lot. I think it looks so good. And way better than anything Bandai's made. Yeah, right. But the leader really matters. They're like the commander of your army. You know what I mean? It's a tactics game, right? And they're the commander of your army. And one of the ways you can win the game is by just killing your opponent's leader, right? If you kill the leader, they lose the game. And the leader can move around and like do stuff and whatever. They're also like your home base that you summon cards off of, which matters. But the leader is like a functional game piece that can move around the board and can be interacted with, and is also how you win or lose the game. If this thing dies, you lose. There's a second way to win, but I'll talk about that in a second. So besides all of the various words on the card, the big thing that you have to like that matters in this game is this little thing up here called the combat compass. This is where the grid really matters. So a lot of games, a lot of tactics games, they would do one of two things. Either A, they'd feel way too much like miniatures games and be really complicated and get bogged down in a lot of minutia. Or they would just be card games that also have a grid for some reason, right? And that was kind of a problem, is you'd be like, why is there a grid here? I feel like there doesn't really need to be a grid here. And most of the time, there wasn't need to be a way to win here. I actually don't know. Divine, do you deck out in this game? I didn't make it that far, I'm not going to lie. So there might be a third way to win. Do you? I would imagine you deck yourself. I don't see why not. So and you can? Okay, yeah, you can. So there's 3 ways to win if you really want to mill them out. But you probably are going to, like, die before that happens. In this game, the grid really matters because it also determines how all your stuff moves around. So you got this thing called the combat compass. If your character ever wants to interact with anything on the board, it has to be where this thing points to. So your icon points friggin' everywhere. It points in all the directions. It's basically like a queen. Other cards, not so much. Let me grab those out the way. There we go. So this wow, this actually looks really cool. So this Kunoichi only points forward, to the top right, and to the bottom left. So if she's here, she can only interact with these zones. So your positioning really matters. So this is Eikonic, a game that actually the Kickstarter launched literally today. So go back it. We're taking a look. Eikonic, new Kickstarter game. Very cool. It's like a JRPG tactics game that also takes inspiration from my favorite game ever, the Naruto TCG, the old one. And a bunch of cool stuff. And it has cool anime art and looks really, really good. And I like the frames. They look really clean. So the combat compass super, super matters and determines how you move and all of this stuff and junk. Cool thing. Early Link arrows from Yu-Gi-Oh! Design. Kind of like Link arrows. Kind of. It sucks that I have to specify the old one. I wish they would just bring that back. That would be incredible, but here we are. So speaking of Naruto, combat in this game, speaking of the combat compass, is like the old Naruto card game. At the bottom here, your characters have 2 stats. I'm actually going to throw us back over to the website page because we have changed the frame. So now, these numbers can be found down here, which personally is how I've always done. If I ever made a game with the Naruto stats, I always liked it like this, down in the corner. I don't think this is bad. Whoops. I don't think this is bad the way they have it, where it's down here and on the side. That way, like, when you rotate it, it's in the exact same spot. I don't think that's horrible, but I do like them being right next to each other, personally. I don't think it's, like, the biggest thing ever, but I do enjoy it vastly. So you have 2 stats, and it's a, whenever you attack something, I dropped the card. Oh my gosh. I'm going to crash out. It's bigger number wins. It's just bigger number wins. But you'll notice you have 2 sets of stats. What the heck does that mean? In this game, all the characters have 2 health. And whenever you take 1 damage, right, we'll go back to the example. Whenever you lose a fight and you take a damage, your character gets turned sideways. And you now use this bottom set of stats that typically is weaker than your first set. Sometimes they can be, there are some cards sometimes that where they get stronger after they get hit, but for the most part, your character will be wounded. They'll go to the side, and they'll be weakened. The cool thing that Eikonic does is this also gets incorporated with the combat compass. So when your character rotates, not only do their stats change, but the orientation of their combat compass changes, and this actually, like, is relevant. So before, let's say she wants to attack, right? She can only attack where her compass points, so here, here, and here, right? But if she loses a fight, she gets wounded, and now she attacks here, here, and here, which really matters. So your characters taking damage can really frick up your plans sometimes. So you got to be really careful. And this is where, like, the super strategic JRPG positioning element comes into play. Is you got to be really careful about where your characters are, because once they take damage, where they can do stuff also changes, which is really cool. Or just not links were gonna work? I guess, yeah. I guess. Me and my flash to come there, but the actual gameplay element. Yeah, no, for real. It's super awesome. It's super sick. You'll also notice, okay, well, if it's just bigger number wins, why are there 2 numbers down here? Well, remember, this is the old Naruto game. So let me grab some buddies. This is the old Naruto game. So the front stat is for the leader of the team. I forget what they're called in this game. Is it party? I don't remind me if it's party or not. I can't quite remember. But basically in this game, you don't fight party. Okay, perfect. In this game, you don't fight with just dudes. You form a party. So the first stat is for the party leader. That's for the character that is declaring the attack, initiating the attack. The the bottom number, the right number, I can't speak, dude. Yeah, it's the head ninja. The right number is, what is it? Assist unit? It's the assist units. Okay, so it's lead unit, assist units. Yeah, it's for your assist units. Whenever you swing with somebody, your units that are attached to its combat compass. So this guy points out. Let's not use this guy because he points everywhere. Let's use this guy. And let's go here. So if I swing with this angry vanguard, right? You take his little leader stat, his party leader stat, and then everybody, every teammate, everything from your deck that's connected to his combat compass, use their support stat. So in this case, we use Mei's 3 plus Angry Vanguard's 4, gives him a total of 7. and then you use that 7 to fight your opponent's dude that would be right here, because this guy's combat compass points right here. It's very, very cool. If you attacked with, let's say you're, but let's say you're attacking with Mei, right? She'd get the support stats from the Angry Vanguard, which unfortunately for this example is 0, so that's not great. But she'd also get the support stats from the Fire Sprite. So she'd get both of these support stats plus her lead unit stat, and that would be the total going at whoever is in this zone. So you do the sort of like Naruto team building thing, and it's very, very cool. And in the similar fashion, if she gets hit, right? Uh-oh, her combat compass changed. A, she can't hit this person anymore. She's got to hit here. And she's only going to get the stats from this guy because there's no compass pointing here. The compass is pointing down here. It's pretty sick. It's pretty cool. Don't I make a reference? No, I have no idea. I have no clue. But for all of the Naruto heads out there, it's your lead ninja and the support ninja. But it's all based around the little combat compass. So that's super cool. The second way you can win in the game is by killing your opponent's guys. All of them have this little force value. This force number is A, the amount of damage you deal to your opponent's leader or their icon. I think most icons have 7 health. So once you eat 7 hits, you're dead and you lose the game. So this is the amount of damage you do to your opponent's icon. But whenever you kill one of your opponent's guys, you take them and you put them into your captive area, which you can't see because chat's covering up and it's upside down. But you put them into your captive area. Once you've captured 10 force worth of units, you also win the game. So this is really nice. Very intentionally monitored Naruto. Yeah, I love it. I love the idea. I wish more games would take the Naruto combat. It's so sick. It's unfortunate that it's only y'all in Primal. But Primal is just the Naruto TCG again. This game actually takes the mechanic and, like, innovates upon it. So, we'll see. Read up? I might. We'll see. So I really appreciate that. I think that's really, really cool. Do I want to talk about art? No, I don't. So, this means your opponent can't really just, like, take their icon, shove it in the corner, and then, like, castle up with a bunch of stupid idiots in front of it, like a bunch of meat shields in front of it. If they try to do that, you go, cool. You just chew through all of their guys and win the game by stealing their dudes.
Empire Youth
so it's super nice.
5791 has donated $4.99 and says so right angle compasses will be important, since you can place them in a way where they'll always support someone even if they're injured or healed.
Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, right? All the different kinds of compasses will determine, like, what makes, how the characters, like, function in battle, right? And you can, like, build, you could, like, if you want, build your deck kind of around the compasses, right? You can, like, pick units specifically for the kind of compass they have, to do what you want them to do. So yeah, you can do that, right? Like this guy, no, granted, doesn't have a support value. But if he had a support value, yeah, you can make sure he's always behind. And then that way, even if he gets injured, he's still facing forward and still would support this unit. So you can always, like, insulate yourself around things. But as you can see, he has no support value, so it doesn't quite work with him. The Fire Spear, on the other hand, has a little more distinct compass, right? It just shoots out in front of him, but as soon as he takes damage, and now he's, like, going to the side. And that matters. And he has a bunch of words on him. That, do they matter? Maybe. I don't know. Not exactly, yeah. So you can, wait. When this unit is wounded, is captured instead. Oh, never mind. He can't even go sideways. He just dies. He has 1 health. He's just a little guy. But there's a bunch of, like, wacky compasses in the game. Let me grab this, and these, and this. Can't be immune. Yeah, I was like, I see that this is green and his stuff's crossed out. I think there might be words that matter. Ah, he cannot be wounded. That makes the sense. So, obviously, you got your dudes. You got your dudes and your buddies. There also, of course, are spells. In this case, skills. And then the bases that we'll talk about in a second. There goes to what's up. So, speaking of taking some cues from Naruto, not only does Eikonic take Naruto's super awesome combat mechanics, but it also takes something I really, really like about Naruto spellcasting. So there's 2 kinds of spells in this game. First up, there are these, which I think, are these the, is there a different name for... Oh, it might have been updated. Are they both still skills? Is there a name difference for the skills I use versus the skills my buddies use? Yeah, no, he only got 1 HP. He goes bonk. Oh, yeah, there's what, skills and tactics? Okay, so these are both skills. I need a tactic card. Tactics. I need a tactic card. Am I just in the wrong pile? Oh, I split this into 2 piles. I'm a silly goose. Yes, there we go. The tactics. Okay, perfect. So there are spells. In this game, they're called tactics. I mean, they do what you think they do, right? You cast them, and they go away. We'll talk about how to play cards after I go over the card types. So tactics, you know, classic, you cast your spell, does the thing, go away. But there's a second type of spell called skills. And these do the Naruto thing that I really, really like. You can't just play skills. For these, I'm going to call them spells from here on out, because I think that just, like, makes more sense in my brain. You don't cast the spells. Your units cast the spells. So every time you cast a spell, not only do you have to have a unit on board to cast it, but some spells, like the Fireball, will have different qualifications for who can cast it. So not just, you can't just cast this whenever. You need a fire or a mage or a red unit with an AP cost of 3 or more. So this unit is... So she is... Whoop. I hate this webcam. It no worky half the time. Hello, May, please. Okay, so I have to do the tech where you just go like super close, and then it figures it out, and then you pull it out. There you go. She's a human ninja summoner noble mage. So she is a mage, and she's also a red unit that costs, or no, she only costs, no, actually, yeah, she costs 3 AP or more. So she is capable of casting Fireball. So if she's on your board, you are now able to cast the Fireball spell at whatever the timing is, and you do what it says. In this case, it's a spell with a combat compass, because, you know, you're shooting a Fireball, and you can shoot the Fireball in these directions. And you blast him with the Fireball, but you need to have a unit that can cast the Fireball. So tactics are you casting the spell, and skills are your guys casting the spell. And I think that's really, really cool, and is in my, like, Bacon Saver's top 10 list of mechanics I wish more card games stole. Having your units be able to cast the spells is one of them. I think it's really cool. I like it a lot. I think it's super sick. The last card type are... Yeah, it's a skill. The last card type are bases, which are cool. So as you can imagine, they're basically enchantments, right? You play them, they sit on the board, and they do stuff. They're not units, they don't have combat stats. But not only so, and then you can attack them, right? They're structures, they have force, and you can swing into them with your guys and kill them with the force numbers, right? The coolest thing about bases is that in this game, you can't just, like, play units wherever you want, right? You can't just put stuff wherever you want to put it. You can only call guys. I think this isn't updated. Oh, no, I have a purple. Is it the purple? No, it's not the purple. It's the red, right? What's the purple mean? Or does that need to be changed? Because I have the old stuff. No, I think it's supposed to be No, it's not purple. Is it purple? I can't remember. It's usually red. Yeah. Okay. Because I think the icons have it. But you can't just, like, smack stuff on the board. You could only summon guys to where you have a red combat compass pointing. So most combat compasses are normal. They're just black, like this guy's, which you can't see because my webcam doesn't work. Some combat compasses are red. The red combat compass means that when you go to play a unit, you can play them to where they're pointing. So if you have this burning castle out, I can now summon units from my hand here, here, and here. So you can also use bases to, like, extend your deployment radius and be able to be like, I'm going to play my base up here, and now I can just shoot this card all the way into the middle of the board instead of having to, like, play it off my icon and then scoot it up. I can smack this down and then just go, boom! May's here. She's clapping your cheeks. So that's really cool. So the bases are super sick. They're not, like, boring enchantments that are like, oh, yeah, they sit on the board and they do a thing. These actually really matter for board positioning. These can really change the way in which you can deploy units. But I like it a lot. I like... my mat! I think just don't carry over the you need your unit to cast the spell because it makes the unit super important. It makes board wipes removable. Yes, I think that's so fun. I think that's sick. Your opponent enter your grind. Yeah, right. Definitely featured on a bug. Yeah, I like it. So like something you can do. It makes bounce spells really good. Because let's say May wants to cast Fireball, and you're like, oh shoot, I don't want to get hit by that freaking Fireball. That's bad news bears. But all you have in your hand is a bounce spell. Bounce spells are really bad cards. They're just like tempo. They're normally not very good. They're only good in like aggro tempo decks that just want to be able to steal turns from you in the early game. Bounce spells suck balls. In games like this, bounce spells are super freaking powerful. Because like May goes, I'm going to cast this Fireball. And you go, all right, check this. I'm going to bounce the May to your hand. And you go, all right, I'll bounce the May to my hand. And then you go, who's casting the Fireball, bud? Like, oh no, I lost my Fireball caster. Now the Fireball fizzles. Ha, you got 2 for 1, punk. I like it. It makes you have to be more careful when you want to spend your spells. You can't just be like, I'm just going to have May fire off my Fireballs and nothing you can do about it. If your opponent has open mana or action points, right, you got to be careful if they bounce your spells. Is there a stack in this game? Is there instant speed effects? I probably should have checked that. I probably should have checked that beforehand. I would imagine there is, but now I need confirmation. Now you got me second guessing my assumption. I feel like if it was a game like Yu-Gi-Oh, it'd be miserable. Yeah, sort of. Yeah. And then you also, you have to decide, like, A, you have to watch over open mana. More Yu-Gi-Oh chain than the stack. Okay, cool. So you can't, yeah. I love the stack, but it's so messy. The stack is so freaking messy. But I kind of love how messy it is. The stack just, like, lets you cheat. It's kind of scuffed, actually. Like, it straight up, it just lets you cheat. I have to remember the exact thing. So, when you can play a card, instead of having just, like, instants and sorcerers, whatever, all of the cards have timings written on them. If this will work, I gotta get like super close and come out. All the cards have timings written on them. So there's strategy, battle, and counter. Those are all different phases. And those are the phases in which this card is playable. So there's basically instants, but there's like a bunch of different flavors of them. And you have to see like when you're allowed to cast the instant. So this one is castable during the strategy, battle, or encounter phases / steps. Which is cool. I like it a lot. I think it's nice. Instead of there being like, there's a little lightning bolt in the top left corner. That means you can cast it whenever you want. I think that's great. But yeah. In a game like Yu-Gi-Oh, it would be not necessarily terrible because, like, let's say turn 1, you always have a normal summon, right? So you could like use your normal and then cast your spells off your guy. It wouldn't be like the worst thing ever. Obviously, the game would be designed like around like certain cards would probably be printed differently. Oh, this is like it's like matte and then this is smooth. Oh, that feels cool. I didn't even clock that. Oh, it's like the cards are matte and then this is glossy. Oh, that's kind of nice. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna stop stroking the cards now. Yeah, right. The cards would work differently, but it wouldn't be like the worst thing in the world. It just changes how like removal works, and how like you have to kind of plan, right? You spotting the symbol, yeah. If you put your hand sideways, flip behind the cards, should focus better. I tried that, it doesn't work for me. Well, actually, it worked now. It's gonna work right now. I was doing it earlier and it wasn't working for me. Yeah, this thing just sucks. this thing's just garbage. Yeah, I have to cover the entire screen, and then it locks in, and then it can grab it. It's great. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about playing a card now because we gotta talk about my favorite thing in the world: resource systems. Yes, I freaking love resource systems. But really quick, yeah, what Divine was saying earlier, it also means that choosing which units you want to cast, which spells, really matters because those are the units that can bait removal, right? If my board, this guy's a fire, right? If like this is my board, and I want to cast a fireball, it might be wiser for me to have the fire spirit cast the fireball, because let's say this does get outed, right? My opponent doesn't want to hit the fireball hit them, so they're going to out the fire spirit. I'm much more okay with the fire spirit getting outed than May. I need her for something else, on the board. So it's really cool at how it like changes your decision making about not only like when you want to cast the spells, but also now you have to decide who's casting the spell. And I think that's really cool. It helps with the flavor of the game of like the unit battling of like, yeah, no, I'm not. It's not me from the heavens shooting a fireball down onto the battlefield. It's my fire spirit in the middle of combat is using his fire powers to blast a fireball. I think that's really cool, and I like it a lot. But yeah, let's talk about resources. I love resources. So this game does something I really like and like seeing new card games do, and they have two resource systems, not just one. There are two. As you can see, the first resource system is this AP, this action point system. This is sort of an evolution of a system I've been a big fan of, kind of like cranked up to 11. So some games will be like, instead of like limiting the money you get every turn to spend on cards, we're just going to limit the amount of cards you can play. The ultimate example of this is like Yu-Gi-Oh's one normal summon per turn. But there are various other games. The only one I can really think of off the top of my head are the Harry Potter TCG and Lightseekers. And Card Wars from Adventure Time. They'll have action points. And they will say, instead of you having to like spend mana on stuff, instead you get like 3 action points in a turn. And every time you play a card, that costs an action point, right? So you can play 3 cards in a turn. And then they'll do some other janky stuff of like, or you can spend one of them to draw, right? So now your turn can be like, it could be play 2 cards, draw a card. It could be do nothing, draw 3 cards, right? Or it could just be like play out 3 cards, you don't get a draw. Netrunner's similar, right? Where Netrunner, you have the clicks. Yeah, Netrunner has clicks. That's a great, I literally have Netrunner stuff sitting right there. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Yeah, so you have the clicks, and you can spend those action points in different ways to do different things. This game is similar. You have action points, and you get them, and you spend them on stuff. Your things cost action points. They cost numbers. Oh yeah, I think D-Spirits also has limited actions. Yeah. It's a system I like. I think it's really cool, and is a way to kind of help do mana without mana. Help World Eidolon, the Netrunner, the non-asymmetric Netrunner game. Right? So everything costs action points, but that's not all. You may have noticed my keen-eyed Magic the Gathering playing lover, or like Force of Will, or Dragon Ball Super, or Alpha Clash. These cards also have pips, right? They have colored pips. That means they cost colored mana, but how do I get colored mana out of my action points? That's where the second resource comes in, the drive. So you have I believe, is it 7? I think I have 7 here. You get a 7-card drive deck. Yes, that's my starter deck list. Drive deck, 7-card drive deck. Yeah, dude, the Deep Spirits mentioned, that's a ball knowledge. It is 7. So you have a deck, 7 drive cards. At the start of each of your turn, can you guess what you do? You shuffle up the drive deck, and at the start of the turn, you get one. Actually, you get 1 drive. You get 1 drive. Is it drive card or drive point? I don't know. I always want to say drive point. I don't know why. That just like always keeps coming to mind. You get 1 drive point, and then you spend these on the colored pips, right? So May costs 3 action points and 2 red drives. Just drive? Okay, fair enough. I don't know where I'm getting drive point from. So you're getting, and cost 2 drives. And like the chat is mentioning right now, it is from one of my favorite resources systems of all time, Force of Will, the Stone deck. I think in terms of like games that try to fix lands, Force of Will did it in probably the strongest way. I think I might like Eiconic's way more of splitting it into 2 different resource systems, but I love stone decks. I think stone decks are so good. It was the go until, yeah, like Force of Will until 2016, 2017. So I think 2017. Yeah, until 2017. Oh, what a good game. What an awesome game. It just sucks they had like 5 tier 0 metas back to back. And a bunch of bad business decisions, but you know how it goes. Yeah, Bleach did it too. Yeah, Bleach had it was like 3 types, right? There was like mind, soul, and body, or whatever, I think. I love resource decks like this. You get all of the color aspects of mana without any of the like in your deck bricking aspects. Now, of course, as we've went over, there's some stuff that you lose, right? Like draft and sealed become a little harder because you need a complete deck of drafted cards. You can't pad it out with resources. That's whatever. But in terms of like getting rid of the mana screw, mana flood variants, well, whoops, I threw the cards, while maintaining the I don't even know what, like, I don't know what phrase to coin to describe the colored aspect of mana and how it influences deck building. I wish I had like 1 or 2 words to describe it. Maybe I need to come up with that and coin that phrase. That's for future me to figure out. You get to keep all of that, and I love that because it's my favorite part of mana systems, right? This is a game where like you can make your deck, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can technically make your deck 6 colors if you want, right? You could play a 6-color pile, right? The problem is that you only get 7 drive points, and you get 1 per turn. So like your deck can only have cards. You can play all the colors in the game, but you only get the cards that cost one drive, which is like, as you can see when I flip through these, not that many, right? Not a lot. And you have to also draw it when you need it. So probably not a wise decision to just play the 5-color sludge pile. You can? Okay, good. Okay, good. So technically you can. It's probably not wise. You're going to want to deck build more somewhere in the middle. And that's where you can get really creative with deck building. A lot of cards are probably going to centralize around 2 colors, playing like a 4 and a 3 split, right? Playing a little 4-3 split. Maybe you get a deck that wants to be a 3-2-2 split and play some 3-color stuff, right? Maybe you're a little light on your drive point pips. Me as the designer, I'm playing at least 3 colors, right? And I think, in my opinion, in a game with colors, I think I would prefer my like golden ratio is decks to settle around 2 to 3. I think 2 to 3 is great. Right? Yeah. So like I love when it's like, I love when games are like, yeah, you can play a 5-color slot pile if you want, but it's probably not wise. But if you can manage to pull it off, you can figure it out. Or you can be like Speed, right? And you could just play monocolored. Like, I don't want to worry about, oh no, it's turn 2, my hand is all red cards, and I just got my 2nd black drive. I can't play any. Oh no. I don't want to worry about that at all. Screw like good deck building. I'm just going to play all 1 color and I never have to worry about it. And you could totally do that, right? You could totally just get rid of that. Yeah. By the way, guys, Divine EMP is the designer of this game. So go give him some love. This game is really cool. Recross deck building, my beloved. Yeah, right? Even though I would say Wecross is a little lighter. Oh, no, it's different now. Is it different now? I don't remember. Wecross has always been kind of light on it because of how like costs aren't super frequent. It only comes out of your enter, but you still kind of end up being like 2 to 3 colors. I'm going to make a rainbow deck. Yeah, and you can do that. You are free to do so. That is completely up to your own discretion. If you want to make a 6-color deck, you totally can. But like the consequences of that is that the cards you're able to put in your deck aren't going to be quite as powerful, because a lot of the really powerful cards cost multiple of these pips, right? And some really powerful cards maybe even cost 3 pips, right? And some also, this little golden pip, that's a colorless. You can do whatever you want with that one. That can be anything, right? The fireball just costs 2 red drive and then 1 of any drive, right? But if you want to go crazy, you're allowed to do that. And I really like that. I think that's great. Want to do a tricolor combinations or big? Yeah, right. I think those are great. Where it gets really shaky is like early Duel Masters, where you had like 4-color decks. I think 4-color decks is we're getting a little too close, especially if that was a 5-color game. Right? Eikonic is a 6-color game, so there's a little more variety there, right? Duel Masters is a 5-color game, and there were plenty of 4-color decks because of how consistent that resource system was, and that's where it gets doing a little too much there. It's a little too much. I think 3 is the max, and it definitely feels like Eikonic is going to be a game where 3 is the max. If you try to play 4, you're gonna run into some pretty big drive issues. You're not going to be able to consistently play cards that cost 2 drive, and that seems to be where a lot of the like power is kind of consolidated around, is these 2 drive pip card. Whoa, this card looks awesome. Whoa, computer, enhance, that looks sick. Shoddy. Yeah, more art like this. Yo, that looks dope. It's like a Kagero card. Now we're talking. That looks really good. Raymond Energy Pokemon in the deck. I mean, it also means that there is like Magic the Gathering like land design space to be had here, right? Like there's really nothing stopping them. I did find the waifu. I was going through, I flicked straight to the waifu. Oh, it was great. I also really like I'm not gonna cap.
Empire Youth
I know I like complain about
5791
I
has
wish there was
donated
more like consistency of style. I
$4.99
love this
and
style.
says I think what would have
Oh,
helped DM is
Empire,
if
what
they
are you
kept
talking about?
Magic's specific color pit requirement instead of having everything only need a single color.
Yeah, if they kept, so the big thing to making, so yeah, Empire, you hit the nail on the head. The big life hack to making colored mana like work well is the pips. Is having colored pips. Having different cards cost different amounts of colored mana is what really makes the system sing. When everything just costs when everything, because Duel Masters is even worse. You just needed to have it like, oh wait, no, that was Kaijudo. Kaijudo made it even worse. So in Duel Masters, every card you played, at least one of the mana had to be the same color, which is like the easiest thing to do in the world. So you could play 4-color decks no problem, because in that game, every card in your hand was a resource. You just played it upside down and out tap for that color of mana. So you could play 4-color decks, like basically no sweat. It was pretty easy. Kaijudo made it even worse, where when you go to play a card, you just need to have one color of that mana in your mana zone. You don't even have to spend it. So if I wanted to play Mei, my mana zone could literally look like this, and I could still cast her with the 3 black. Just because there is a red card in here, she was playable. It was so scuffed. I don't know why they did that. It was Omega scuffed. So yeah, the life hack to making colored mana like really sing is the pips. And it's also what helps, like, again, the 5-color slot piles of, like, say you want a card that's like, I want to make a really powerful red card, but I don't want you to be able to put it in everything. Make it cost, like, 3 or 4 red drive, and now you're like, oh, shoot, I can't really splash this card because I need a bunch of drive, right? So you can really help curb the splashability of, like, powerful cards, which is super, super nice, and I really, really like it. Best thing I tried to do was always with the 5-color dragon deck. Dude, the 5-color dragon deck was so dumb. That, like, the stupid... I think that was also the Jar deck. The Jar Wishes. That card was stupid. Yeah, they did the Kaijudo was a mess. They did a bunch of weird stuff with Kaijudo. Looks cool, but I'll stick with GA. Not sure how this game would be viable to play via webcam. That's something not viable via webcam. But, personally speaking, I would never consider that to be a fault, because I am a firm... I don't really like playing webcam myself, but I'm a firm believer in... I get it, not everyone can do this, which is, like, understandable and unfortunate, but I'm a firm believer in going out to your local game store and meeting other humans and interacting with other people in real life, face-to-face, across the table from each other. That's why I'm a big fan of, like, Flesh and Blood and their entire thesis of, like, they will never make an online sim because you are meant to go out in person and play the game in front of another player. And I really am a big proponent of that, right? But yeah, let's even have a player base or another Neuroscape situation. I mean, that's like that one I can't tell you. I can't like peer into the future and be like, this game will be the biggest game ever. You know what I mean? I couldn't tell you that. But I think it definitely will stand out from the rest. Right? It will definitely stand out from the rest. Like, Neuroscape has a problem of, it's just Magic, but with a Cyberpunk skin. So if you don't like Magic, you're not gonna like Neuroscape. So you literally just play Neuroscape if you want Magic, but Cyberpunk. Which, like, is already kind of a niche within a niche. And now that game also has to struggle against the Cyberpunk TCG, right? So, like, that's kind of a problem. This game is very different and very unique from everything else on the market, right? The only thing it even comes close to is like sorcery, but that's almost like it's almost a different genre at that point. So if nothing else, right? You're right. I got to work on my clairvoyant skills. I got to practice that more. That'll be my next thing I'm getting good at. So if nothing else, this game definitely has a niche of its own, right? Which is something you can't say about a lot of other games that are like, oh, the Cyberpunk game is Duel Masters but Cyberpunk, right? Neuroscape is Magic but Cyberpunk. Altered is like Star Wars Unlimited, right? There's no game where I can't say Eikonic is like blank but X. It's almost like the only thing it's remotely close to is sorcery, and that's because there is a grid exists, right? And that's kind of it. So like, How big would the player base be? I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. But it definitely won't get like accidentally lumped in with a bunch of other stuff. It has enough sauce to stand out on its own, and it plays differently from everything that it has a good chance of like being its own niche. Um, Primal Critters are friends in school game, too many games. Yeah, right. So many games right now. That's another problem. There's just so many games. The big thing is like getting the player base and making them like stick with the game and get them like coming to locals every week, right? Like everyone will like try a game, right? But if you don't get them to like stick with it and play it regularly, that's where games kind of die and fall apart. So a big thing is getting people like not only to try out the game, but to like really play it consistently. So like consistent local support is going to be really important. And like having events and stuff that get people to come out to their locals, right? That's a big thing. Is like doing things that get people to be like, I want to go to that. I want to go to my locals. I want to play this game. I want to do X, right? Just being like having a game being like, yeah, some people come down and play it on Mondays. Nowadays, kind of isn't enough. You really got to get people out to the local game store playing the game. And that's super, super important. Is Neuroscape really Magic, though? Yes. Have you looked at Neuroscape? It's Magic, but there's 2 life totals. And even that's a stupid mechanic, but that's not neither here nor there. It's Magic the Gathering. It's Magic the Gathering. Like, the combat's the same. The mana is different, right? It's Magic the Gathering, but instead of colors and mana, it's like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Archetype style of deck building. But everything, like, mechanically is Magic. Which isn't like bad, right? But it means that like it's gonna be harder to kind of stand out as a game, especially in this like oversaturated market, where the only people you're gonna get are people that are like, I wish Magic was Cyberpunk, and then they see Neuroscape and are like, whoa, Magic was Cyberpunk, yes, sign me up, right? But yeah, show your waifu. That's what I'm gonna do. That's why she's still here. That's what we're doing. That's why she's still here. Yeah, probably close to Naruto. Yeah, right. It's like the sorcery board with like Naruto combat mechanics, I guess, is the best way you could like really describe it. But even then, like, it is a very different game, which is really nice, and really, really good to see. You need more weekdays to play all these games. I mean, right? That's the big thing, right? More sauce than substance. Yeah, it is. Right? Neurogame, like, it has sauce, but it is just like Magic again. So if you're looking for a different game, it's not really gonna give you that. And the video that goes over what makes the game Magic and how much can be borrowed from Magic, so you've just made Magic. I mean, I could do that. I feel like it's self-explanatory at this point, but I could do that. I mean, a lot of it's like, what is a card game, right? It's like how you play your cards and how you like win the game. So like your resource system, your combat, and then like your like turn structure. Maybe like card types. But really, it's like the big thing is like win condition, anatomy of a turn, card types. Because card types includes resources. So like every card game is made up of the same like soup ingredients of card type, turn structure, win condition. Yeah, I would say that. So you just like look at those 3 things. And you can see how like Pokemon is very different from Magic. And you can see how, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Kind of similar to Magic, but different and unique enough ways, right? But, like, I guess it could be a video. It could be a video. Speaking of good LGS support, do you think prizes are important to money from the players to show up? Absolutely. 100%. But I think the way in which the word important gets used can get misconstrued sometimes. So I wouldn't say, like, prizes are important as in there needs to be fancy winner cards and people feel like they can make money by going to locals. I wouldn't say that at all, right? But I think LGS like promos can go a long way in getting players to be like, oh, I gotta go to locals. Oh shoot, I gotta go to locals. Let me grab my how do I get my keyboard out from under here? I'll show you a good example. What did I do? I did that. I hit that button, which I forgot I could do. Let me show you an example. Let me show you a recent example. Chad, it's time to talk about my favorite card game. How do I look this up? Let me see if I can find, maybe there's an article? Was there an announcement? Please tell me there was an announcement. Please tell me there was an announcement. It wasn't. Do I have to pull up Discord? Oh, I think I can. Hold on. If I go... Where is it? Review. This should have a Discord tab on it. That's already pulled up and ready to rumble. Let me double check it though. Let me do... The easiest way to find it would be going here. And then go here. And scroll up. Because I forwarded it to this group. Yes. And then go click on this. Nope. That didn't work. How do I check out a... It's annoying. Let's go. Sorry, gang. I did not have this prepped. But I think that is okay. Let me copy this. Go here. Switch this. It's important, I swear. This. Jump. There we go. Now how do I get rid of it? Go away! Wait, actually, how do I get rid of that? That's so annoying. So that's gonna mess up. Oh, wait, that also would mess up. Whatever. I kind of messed it up. I kind of messed it up. Well, we'll see if this works. What's the Daisy Rose? Yep. Okay. I accidentally resized it and goofed it. So, recently they announced the new Tekken promos for UVS. Let me resize this. Oh, there we go. That kind of works. There we go. Okay. So, these Tekken promos. They revealed these Tekken promos, right? And I was like, oh, frick. This Reina art looks so good. I need this Heaven's Wrath, right? I want this Heaven's Wrath so bad. This looks so good. I want this and this Keep Them on Their Toes. This also looks super clean, right? This looks really good. The Huarang looks really cool. I really like the Asuka. This one's okay. Not my favorite. The Yoshimitsu one's cool. I'm not a Yoshimitsu guy, but this is cool. You love Tekken? Yo, come play some Universes. This Reina's a guy. It's not my favorite thing, but it's more Reina, right? But I really want this Heaven's Wrath. I want this really, really bad, right? How do I get it? Well, they're the LGS promos. Every time you go to your LGS, I think obviously LGS does it differently. Like mine does, I think, like one of these on entry. So just by going to my locals and playing, everyone gets one of these promo packs, which have a chance to contain one of these alt arts. You're a competitive Tekken player? Yo, that's hype. That's actually sick. Dude, I wish I was good at fighting games. But I really want this Reina. And the only way for me to get this Reina, besides like waiting for someone to open one and like maybe post it on Facebook Marketplace, right, to just buy it, my best way to get this Reina is to go to my locals, participate in locals to get the promo pack to try to open it. And maybe if I don't open it, someone else opened it and I can trade whatever alt art I get with them. With them, right, to try to get this Reina. So, you know what I mean? I was about to kick Tekken Siege just for worth it. Hey, I recommend. Check the Tekken set just came out. Tekken set just dropped like a week
Empire
ago.
Youth 5791 has donated $4.99 and says prizing usually help people stay playing, not necessarily get them into it unless it's crossover thing.
Yeah, it helps them stay playing, right? Obviously, this isn't gonna like get them in the door, right? But you need to like keep players playing, keep them coming back, right? There are different products for getting people to try the game. You need other stuff to keep them playing it. And I think prizing like this is really cool. So like this card, that doesn't need to be $1 billion. Right? I'm not trying to open like the money card. I just want it because it looks cool. Like it looks really good, and I want it, and I want to like put it in a binder and look at it forever. And maybe even better, I'd love to find a deck that plays this card. I literally went as soon as this got revealed. I went on UVS Ultra. I looked up Heaven's Wrath, and I just clicked on decks playing this card to see what decks play this card, because I want to get 4 of these and sleeve them up and be able to put them in a deck, because I think this art is so good looking, right? So I think printing prizing like this that gets people coming to locals, like my biggest recommendation for prizing is alt arts. I love alt arts, right? Promo alt arts, I think, are so good at getting people to be like, oh, I need that. Oh, I gotta go to locals. I gotta go to locals and get that prize pack to try to open this card. And like, you get it just for going, right? Or like, at least with the Reyna, you get a chance of getting it just for going, just for playing at your locals, something you should already kind of want to be doing. You should already want to be playing locals, right? But as a little bonus on top for going to your locals, you get a prize pack that already also, like, not only just that, it has foil. So the UVS prize packs are like, I think they're 3 cards. 2 of them are just foil versions of cards in the set, which is great to have. And then the back card is like a shot at the alt art, right? Did I quit GA? I never started GA. Technically, I think my locals tried to start it. So I say it in the structure, and I say it in my Grand Archive video. My locals tried to start Grand Archive, but they couldn't get it off of the ground because they couldn't teach it to anybody. Everyone that picked it up bounced right off of it because it was a little too obtuse. So my Grand Archive locals both started and died at the same time. But yeah, hey, you could pick up Tekken 8 University. Yoshimitsu, he has a deck. It's a really cool deck. You play a bunch of assets and swords and stuff, and you could try to pull this cool alt art, which I'm pretty sure he plays. The demo decks are better for teaching, yeah. But unfortunately, everyone bought the starter decks, because starter decks are where one typically starts a game. Need to finish being Earth King. Earth King looks sick, dude. The throw slot, play some throw slot, could be chill. Could be really chill. Happened here too, but I restarted the scene. Hey, I'm happy if that worked out for you. I think Grand Archive's really cool. I think it's extremely expensive, and you almost have to let people play proxies at locals, which I think is a little bit of a problem. That game should not be $1 billion, but oh well, it is what it is. It's a cool game, but it is a little tough. Yeah, I know, right? Shame on all of us for starting with the starter decks, but I have an entire... if you want to hear my thoughts on the Grand Archive starter decks, I have an entire video on it, so you can go watch that. But dude, the throw stop looks awesome. You got the Alt Art King. Oh, the Alt Art characters in the set look so good. They look so cool. Yeah, high key, I think in terms of like, even like getting people to want to buy the cards, I love alt arts. Like good looking alt arts, oh, so awesome. I love alt arts. Yeah, the starter deck experience is really rough. Same where I live, everyone played for a week and dropped. Yeah, and it's like, I liked it, personally, because, like, you know, I'm sick in the head. So I loved playing Kong Ming, right? I loved going, Bang Dong Dong Chi! It was great. You know, I had a blast. But everyone I played against was like, what the heck is happening? I was like, yeah, to be honest, I don't know either, but, like, I'm north right now, so I'm going to draw a card, and then I'm going to play this, and that's going to swap me to east. When this thing lets me, when I swap to east, this card triggers, and I get to give this +5/+5, and then I swing, and then that bumps this to this way, and then I do this, and then this combinates, you reset it all the way back to north, so now I'm ready for my next turn to swing it all back around. I was like, oh, this is sick, but everyone is like, what the heck is happening? Right? So don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it. But that's because I have like a brain virus, right? Every other normal person was like, what is happening? But, yeah. Starter structure deck boss monsters sound like a amazing incentive. That's also good, right? Alt arts for things that don't typically like have like alt arts available. So Star Wars Unlimited in their packs, right? They basically have FRs. So there's like the base rarity and the frame rares. What they did for the promo packs, all of like the commons in the promo packs were FRs of cards in the starter deck, because the starter deck cards weren't in the main set. So you couldn't get high rarity versions of them. So they put the high rarity versions of the starter deck exclusive cards in the promo packs. And that was really cool. So you could bling out starter deck cards. So that was great. I like that a lot. Skip the starter decks. They had a starter deck tournament and people couldn't kill each other. They were all playing Arasana. Oh, and that's like the worst one. Just play like Diana and blow her up. They all quit after that. Yeah, that's fair. And then, like, yeah, imagine someone started with I say this in the video, but someone started with Arasana. A, the deck's butt. B, you have to figure out how the dice work, and you gotta roll your dice, and you gotta remember which dice corresponds to what plant, and then you have to read the card, and the card just calls for the plant name, and you're like, what the heck is I don't even remember what the plant names were, and then you have to go look at the card to figure out which plant is which, and you realize they're all, like, there's 2 kinds of subtypes, and they all have a combination of like 2 of them, and it's, like, what? And on top of that, the deck was bad. So it was just, yeah, that was just miserable. Now, granted, Arasana, my favorite. I have her sleeves. Are they I forget which deck's in them, but I have Arasana sleeves, and I love them. That deck is ridiculous. Play deck with constructed games later? Yeah, right. So it's just like, Granarchy is a good game. They just have their starter deck specifically have some problems. But chugging all the way back to the topic at hand. Sorry about that. Got a little sidetracked. Going all the way back to the topic at hand. Prizing is important in incentivizing people to come out. And there are ways to incentivize people to come out that aren't just like monetary value. I think alt arts and fancy like shiny promos are very important. And they are really good incentives to get people to come out and play. So I highly, highly recommend doing some like alt art promos. I think those are like kind of like the best way to do it. Alt art promos, you can't go wrong with alt art promos. Or like fancy foilings of cards, right? Like if you really want to go crazy with it, like my best personal example, when Union Arena came out. When Union Arena came out, that early 2-set meta was butthole. The game sucked. It was really not good. Oh, a spider. Go on the floor, please. There we go. It was really bad. The game was pretty butthole. But one of the winner promos was this C2. And if you can't tell, my binder page sucks, but I have the C2 in it. If you can't tell, this C2 looks freaking awesome. She looks so good. I love this card. I wanted it real bad. Because I like Code EOS and I like C2. She's goated. And that's a really cool looking promo. And I really wanted it. So, I freaking grinded it out. I built a deck. I like low-key innovated on the meta. I built a deck that like then went on to top the next regional. So like that felt kind of swag. Low-key discovered a new archetype. And I played it. And I blitzed through that local, got first, said, give me that C2. And then I played like 2 more locals and quit the game because it was bad. But I really wanted that C2. So I ended up going to like 2 or 3 more locals than I otherwise wouldn't have. So I do think like having really like cool prizing, not just like valuable prizing, but really cool prizing that people like want, is very important and can really help get people in the door and playing the game, which is super nice. Has the game said anything about local support? I don't know. Divine, what does the local support look like? I'm not entirely sure. Granted, the Kickstarter launched today, so like it's going to be a hot minute before this game actually gets into locals. So it's not like the biggest thing to worry about right now. Right now, it's just about getting the game funded. Getting cards into people's hands and playing the game. So that's more of a future problem, but eventually it will be important once the game actually fully releases. So it is like fairly important to talk about now, but granted, not the craziest concern of all time. But my pitch, alt arts of cards. Fancy alt arts in the promo packs. There are plans for cool alt arts? Yes! This was really going to kick off from the product to source hands, which makes sense, right? See, there's already a bunch of cool alts in the Kickstarter too. Yeah. So I love... Oh, there's alts in the Kickstarter? Oh, I have to go look at that. Oh, I think I... Did I see that? I think I did. Am I going crazy? Am I going bananas? What's in the Kickstarter? There are alts. Oh, and like in the packs? In the Kickstarter packs? I'm guessing in the packs. So I don't see them on screen. Right? Yeah. I'm guessing there's alt arts in like the set. Or maybe it's like rewards. Yeah. Okay. So maybe like this in the packs there's alt arts. So that's awesome. I love alt arts. I think they're sick. But yeah. Game's cool. I think I was like, I never actually got around to like talking about this. I can't remember if I did or not. I really like this art style. This like old, almost like early 2000s old like Yu-Gi-Oh aesthetic. Divine, this art's really cool. I like your style. Can this focus, please? I gotta make it the whole art. There we go. I like this style. I like this style a lot. This is really charming. I'm a big fan of that. That looks really cool. There's so I think like when I talk about there's so granted, right? Let's be honest. Art is subjective, right? Art's always going to be subjective, right? So there's always going to be like always going to be a hypocrite in one aspect or another. So I like consistent art. This art is cool enough and charming enough for me to not care and be like, this looks awesome, give me more of this. Reminds you of Imagination? That's a good one. Yeah. I like this a lot. And I think a lot of it's because it's like very unique and like stylized in a way that's really nice, right? And then there's also, yeah, this game is really cool. I like these a lot. I think these like this is a really cool style. I am a big fan of it. Obviously, I love the anime style. You know what I mean? And like obviously, yeah, these next to each other, they're a little different. But allow me to be hypocritical. Allow me to spout some hypocrisy for 2 seconds. I love both of these. I love both of these equally. But it is very Yu-Gi-Oh, right? You have like old DM era Yu-Gi-Oh and like more new age waifu Yu-Gi-Oh. So if anything, it's more just reminiscent of that more than like actual like clashing problematic art styles. You know what I mean? I think you can actually, I guess maybe that's a good point, is like you can actually get away with styles like this because games like Yu-Gi-Oh, one of the big 3, have sort of already normalized these cards being next to each other already. So like players won't quite bat as much of an eye at this, right? Whereas I wonder if there might be one in here. I also love, I don't know why, I love the orbs. I don't know why, like something about like this is a weird, I've had this feeling for a long time, like similar to the stones. I don't know why I like resource cards that are just big giant art rectangles with just rocks in them. I I will never be able to describe why, but something about this just hit. Like I love the magic for Magic. I love the full art lands that are just like the mana symbol in X style. So like the I have an example. Now, granted, I've retired this mat because it's gotten pretty dirty and it's a little gross. But it's one of my favorites. The Theros Beyond Death, the like space art, but it's literally just like the blue mana symbol in like space theme. But I don't know, I love this. I love this mat so much. Maybe I'll try to like throw it in the washing machine and see if that cleans it. Because I adore this mat. It's one of my favorite mats of all time. I think it looks so good. So something about just like a generic orb on a card, for me just hits. It just hits. The stain from Dominaria, those are really cool. I like those a lot too. Totally be a 17 5-star. Yeah, true. I see. I'm not gonna lie. I think he's more of like a level 2, like 500 attack with like a flip of like some kind of like janky like flip effect or like maybe like a battle fadery kind of thing. He seems like a little guy. But I could see 5-star 17k attack. Tribute for a worse lodge-in. You're like, yeah, man, that sounds sick. I got the same thing Pokemon energies. Yeah, something about it. It's nice. These look really, really nice. But I think there is a style in here. Oh, this looks awesome. This looks cool. I like this guy too. That looks really sick. Yeah, these look great. Oh, this is almost like, this kind of gives me MetaZoo vibes. Not in like a bad way, but in that little like, or no, I shouldn't even say MetaZoo, but like old like Pokemon kind of art vibes. I like that a lot. That looks really good. Yeah, I think the art for this game is really great. This is almost like too anime. You know what I mean? This one's a little, that's almost too anime. I like this. Oh, this is cool. The Archmage of the Divine Order. This card looks awesome. There we go. Ah, she looks sick. I'm a big fan of that. Look at Emerald Hollow Energies. Oh, yeah. And imagine. Also, an excellent card to add to, like, if you did, like, promo packs for prizing at locals. Foil Orbs. Foil Drive. Oh, Alt Art Foil Drive. Like, you can see it from, like, Riftbound, from, like, other games. You could, like, foil resource cards go hard, and people love those. That's, like, a slam dunk. That's a super easy slam dunk, is, like, foil drives. Oh, this is good. I like this. It's, like, anime, but has a much more, like, distinctive style to it. Also this. This one's also nice. If it'll zoom in. It's anime, but it feels like iconic anime. You know what I mean? Whereas this one girl, this just feels like this feels not to be like not to do the like it looks like AI kind of thing, but I feel like if there was to be like an AI video game, this elf chick would pop up. You know what I mean? It's a little too. Please give me an anime girl. Can it focus on her? I know where I'm like, do I say it looks iconic? Is that a good pun? I didn't mean for it to be a pun. But in the same way, I would like look at a card and say, like, oh, that's a Vanguard card. I could look at this and be like, oh, that's an iconic card. Right? I think, and then, yeah, this art style, this is a little distinct. Perhaps, I think, yeah, generic. I think, yeah, generic is a better word. Looks a little generic. This art style is very different. Like, this is the kind of style I would assume, like, if you showed me just this card, I would assume the entire game looks like this. Right? This feels like a very distinctive style that, like, an entire game would look like. This is where we start to get a little, not like bad, don't get me wrong. This is where we start to get a little, like, I mean, not clashy, but this does feel a little bit too distinct, maybe. It's like if you had, if like League of Legends came out with a new character and their splash art looked like Hades art. You know what I mean? It's not like bad, but it's a little out of the place and feels like it's from a different thing. Which could be cool. The artist is going to do alt art drives? Ooh. Wait, which artist? I actually went through like a billion artists. This artist? I think this would be a cool style for alt art drives. Yeah, like that would be a cool. I think like I think maybe that's what it is. Yep, okay, cool. I think this would be great for alt art drives. This also would be cool to do for like primarily alt arts. I think if you did alt arts in like a primarily distinct style, that would fit really well. Because those are meant to feel alternative and different, and distinct. Right? Yeah, Corpse, like you were saying. Yeah, I like this art style, but I think it does. I think this would work really well as like special alt arts. It'd fit a little more, right? Because I'm not saying it's like bad. It's just very different from what's going on here. And sort of like, yeah, with that, like with the Hades example of like if League of Legends made splash art that looked like it was from Hades, you wouldn't say that looks bad, but you'd be like, that feels like it's from a different thing. But oh, that was cool. Cool dragon. I also like these, just like the scenery, the scenic art. That looks good. Ooh, she looks cool. Lightning arrow. This looks like the chick from a certain scientific railgun. I don't know her name. That looks good. I like that. That looks good. That looks good. Yeah, like this style is cool. I like it a lot. But it does feel like, I wonder if doing more like alt arts in the style would hit really good. I had a Dunkin' Pumpkin muffin warmed. Oh, dude, the Dunkin' Pumpkin stuff is so good. When they get the pumpkin donuts in, ooh, those are good. So it has the dark. Yeah, right. It's the very like distinct line art and like super like harsh shadows. It is good. It is good. Kill card is probably my favorite art from the artist. Yo, it looks really cool. No, I love this art. And it's weird because typically I really hate when cards have just completely black backgrounds coupled with black borders. But here it really hits. Like, it works really well here. I couldn't tell you why. It just does. And I like it a lot. Like, I think their art looks great. It looks really good. But I feel like I would see an entire game with this art. You know what I mean? It feels like a very distinctive style, but it looks really good. Don't get it twisted now. I think it looks great. This one is also in the tier of like maybe a little generic. Maybe if we got something a little more distinctive instead of give me anime elf. But all in all, I think the game looks sick. I'm a big fan. I'm a really big fan of Divine's style. I like it a lot. It's super charming. I really like this art style, but I also adore this. I think this looks sick too. I should just pull out all the art I love. Just fits perfectly. Nothing else was cropped. Yeah, right. Something about it. Something about it is good. More anime version of the Ascension art style. Yeah, it does. It does. It's this almost like I don't know if I want to say flat, but like very 2D-y. You know what I mean? Very 2D, almost like Egyptian like hieroglyphic levels, but in a way that I really like it. I like it a lot. Show the meat. Oh, yeah. The big meat. Where is it? The honey roast. The big honey roast. That guy's awesome. No, we love the honey roast. We love honey roast. Yeah, this guy's cool. Like ice dragon. That looks dope. Meat. No, that would slam. I'm lucky I just ate dinner because that would go really hard. I think I do like that. I do like her. She looks really cool. She looks really cool. I like this guy a lot. And this card looks awesome. I do like this guy. This card looks phenomenal. That's cool. I love this art. This guy's sick. Like, if I had to pull out my favorite art, I might just keep it just to the green deck, because it's already a lot. But I love... Oh, it goes too wide, almost. It almost goes too wide. But I think all these look awesome. I love these. These look really good. I think I put out a lot of... Yeah, you can tell I put out a lot of Divine art. I think this style is really cool. I like this, like, early 2000s, very like you were saying, very my imagination. I like it a lot, and it's like a unique, like no other game really has this kind of vibe to it, which I really like. But yeah, I was looking like, wait, this is a lot of Divine art. Yeah, I really like Divine style. I like it a lot. It's very distinct and unique, and has this like nostalgic feeling to it of like really like early 2000s art. It looks really good. And then there's this is also included in that too. And then there's also just like, and then it's accompanied with just like awesome anime. Yeah, big on the heavy. Yeah, the heavy shading looks good, and the almost like I don't know how to. It's like artists, you'll have to tell me, but the almost like painted / like color pencil shading. I don't know how to describe it, but I really like it. The shoot, I don't know. I'm sure there's like a proper technique name for it, but it feels like very like colored pencil shading. Or like but it's like if you like used a pencil to draw brush strokes. It's really cool. Hatching. Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. I think it looks really, and like no other game like really looks like that. So I really like that. So it really stands out. So you get the combination of Divine super unique, like the hatching style, and then just like awesome anime. Which, like, to be noted, actually, I mean, maybe I should make a video on it, but there is a difference between like awesome anime and generic anime. So like this, I put in the tier of like awesome anime. I wouldn't call it like, I don't know how to describe. I wouldn't call it like generic, but it is a like, so like in Vanguard, when you look at a card, you can tell what clan it's from, because they all have very distinctive feel. Like I can tell you exactly, like I can tell you an Aqua Force unit from a Grand Blue unit any day of the week, right? This chick, I have no idea what her freaking deal is, right? But this is, if it would focus, this is the art you get when you're like, just draw me a sick looking anime character. I don't care who they are, where they're from, I don't what they do. Just draw me something that looks freaking awesome. And you get this, and you're like, I like, what does she do? I don't care. She looks cool. I don't have to care. A lot of like Duel Masters art is kind of like that, where they go to the artist, go, just draw me something dope looking, and you're like, what even is that? It's like, I don't know, but it's awesome, right? That's the kind of anime art I like. But there is also anime art that is very just like generic like anime, right? Like these elves. These elves are a little like, there's draw me some sick anime stuff and then draw me some anime stuff. Where there's like, hey man, just draw me some anime elves. And you're like, all right, here's some anime elves. Complete random passerby. Yeah, I think that's a good example. This is something that I don't really like about Grand Archive, TBH. A lot of Grand Archive art, if it is not like a named like legendary character, they feel very generic and like background characters. And maybe that's the best way to describe it. Maybe the reason I like Vanguard art is because every like Vanguard unit feels like they are a character in a show. Like they feel like they are part, either if they're not the main character, they're part of an ensemble, right? And you see them frequently enough. These feel like main characters, or if not, part of a recurring ensemble, right? These feel like generic townsfolk, right? These feel like unnamed characters, even though one of them has a name, right? Like, it's kind of funny. This is just Divine Archer, and this is Istas, the Woodland Princess. But if you like just showed me the arts, I would much quicker assume that these had proper names, and these were just like Elven Assassin and Elven Archer, right? Even though this is Woodland Ranger, right? This feels very Woodland Ranger. This feels much more Istas, the Woodland Princess. So maybe like that's how I would describe it, is like cool anime art is like characters that look like they are named recurring characters in whatever show they are from, whereas others kind of look like background characters, which can end up looking a little more generic / boring. But yeah, between draw me something and put your back into it, pretty much, yeah, like that's a good example too. I think the only anime art I really liked from Flesh and Blood was Enigma. Have you seen the Gravy Bones? Have you seen anime Gravy Bones? Static posed versus dynamic is also a good take. That's also true. Diviner Sword says Slaver would only be on named units from there on out. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because you're almost like, dude, this is like too cool. I can't put this on some random archer. Okay, that makes sense. But honestly, I'd be fine if they all looked like this. I think I'd be totally okay with that. But that definitely makes sense. I'd be like, yeah, man, you're doing the named characters. This is way too sick. I like anime Dorinthia. I love the anime Scar for a Scar. I think the anime Scar for a Scar looks so cool. It's tough when you're first working with it. Oh, absolutely. Oh, 100%. Yeah, no, that 100% that makes sense. And I can't imagine it'd be easy at all, right? That totally makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not an artist, so I probably wouldn't do a whole video on it, because I don't really have like a lot of like things like of interest to talk about, nor like actual like experience or whatever. But I think like visually you can tell like there is a difference between like sick anime art and just anime art. But that's for actual artists to figure out the difference between those. I'm merely an observer. But no, these look freaking awesome. So it's crazy. One of my favorites is Hadia. She's been a key character in marketing. Oh, is that the Egyptian girl? Because I've seen her all over the place. Whoops. I grabbed the corner of the map. No. I see the Egyptian lady all the time. Yes, yeah, she looks so good. I'll pull that up once I put these back where they're supposed to go. She looks so good. Where's she at, though? Let me see if I can get, I think she's right there. She's right there, this girl. Yeah, this one looks great. And if you look up, like, Iconic anywhere, she's, like, the first thing you'll see. Right, she's on the back of this. No, she looks so good. I also love this guy. This guy looks freaking awesome, and so does this guy. This guy's also like super cool, like Angel Man. Really into that. Really into that. But yeah, no, the Hadia, good reason to play brown. You know, you're like, I don't know about this brown color. I don't know about Earth. Show someone Hadia and like, ooh, okay, all right, you might have got me. You might have got me on that one. You might have got me. I think I gotta pick up some brown. I gotta be a brown gamer. But no, this is super dope. What else? Did I miss anything? I think that's basically how the game works. Besides, like, more, like, nitty-gritty rules about, like, keywords and, like, effect names and yada, yada, yada. But that stuff, y'all are competent gamers. You can figure that out by reading a rule book. I believe in you guys. I have faith in y'all. I think you can figure it out. Oh, someone mentioned Caster Chronicles. Hold on. Let me go back to that. Oh, then I'm like, Caster Chronicles. Talk more about... Oh, about anime. Okay, yeah. There we go. But yeah, guys, go check out Eikonic. It's on Kickstarter right now. I mean, go over there. You have Nephthys Girl from Yu-Gi-Oh? Yeah, no, she does. You are right. Oh, I'm like super zoomed in. I need my keyboard back. There we go. Discord. Caster Chronicles mentioned. Let's go, Poggers! Poggers Caster Chronicles. Which we've been playing. We got me and my locals group. We got our Kickstarter stuff in. We got all the starter decks. We've been jamming some games. It's been a good time. It's been a pretty good time. But yeah, guys, go pledge the Kickstarter. We even got more backers. We're up to 85, 31,000 pledge. Let's go, gaming. But yeah, go check out Caster Chronicles. I mean, $30. Get a start. You get the dual start. You get exactly what I have here. The dual starter decks, which is enough for you and a buddy to just check out the game and jam some stuff. 100% recommend. Go check it out. I might get a booster box. It'll be chill. I kind of want to open it. Looks kind of swag. But yeah, no, I'm happy to give it a look. Still waiting on Echoes? Yeah. I actually don't even know if I'm gonna get mine. I'll have to figure it out. Name is kind of weird. I mean, Divines, I guess you can explain if there is some, like, fanciness to the naming, but it's Eikonic but spelled cooler. It's aura. It's hype and aura. What more do you need? 'Cause it's cool. There you go. There's the lore. One Juggling Caster, Gundam, the upcoming Chaotic, maybe finishing my one final Vanguard deck. I mean, yeah, right. There's too many games, man. There's too many games. There's just too many games. Final Fantasy word, which you would also notice, like, kind of Final Fantasy font reminiscent. You know, it gives real Final Fantasy vibes. Final Fantasy things. So anyone who likes Final Fantasy, you'll be like, oh, 100%. I know. I got it. I know what's going on here. What are the reward tiers? Let me look at the... I haven't even looked at the stretch goals yet. Let me look at the stretch goals. The red zone art. Oh, the cars? Dude. Every single one of those cars looks so cool, man. I love Duel Masters art. Which is I mean, I wish... If I could have one dream, it would be... I want a game to come out in America with Duel Masters art. Will he ever get that? Probably not, because they're all Japanese artists. But man, Duel Masters art is my favorite art. My favorite art of all time is, I would say, a tie between Vanguard and Duel Masters art, but shocker, they're all the same artists. So I wonder why I like both of them. But yeah, no, Duel Masters art is so sick, dude. The car transformers are like the coolest things ever. Does Digimon count? Yeah. I don't know the exact overlap. All the Duel Masters artists and Vanguard artists I like don't do Digimon things. But I think there is some overlap, if I am recalling correctly. I'd have to look it up, though. So wait, what do we got? We got the backers every tier will get a collection of digital goodies and wallpapers. Cool. Very nice. We got a secret rare full art variant. Nice. I love full arts. I love different text box rarities. I think the full arts we can view up here. That's in the SIGs. They're on. Let me see. I saw. Yeah. Here we go. We get full arts. Ooh. All backers will receive a full art campaign exclusive promo. You get a full art campaign exclusive promo of sick looking fire girl. Yo. I think full. Yeah. Also in terms of like cool rarities, full arts, super easy, simple, slam dunk. Oh, who doesn't like a full art? Guy, like, let's be honest, guys. Who doesn't like a full art? I love full arts. Full arts be hitting. Oh, wait, did they? Oh, I guess I could mention, looking at the new frames, they did make a change that I really like. That I didn't even really notice until now. TCG era died in Force of Will, and Ray era had a full art in every pack. Yeah. Dude, it was so good. The Force of Will stuff was crazy. But no, floors are awesome. So something they changed with the card frames that I really like is here's a card, and we go back to this stuff. I like that they have included the color of the card in the border of the frame. I am a big fan of that. While also still maintaining the black outer frame. I don't have an exactly specific scientific reason for why I like it, but I really, really do. I don't know how to. I don't know how to really explain it, but I am very, very supportive of the choice to add the color of the card to the entire border instead of just the top and bottom. I think it goes along. I don't know. It just I it's one of those vibes things, and I think it just makes the cards better. How? I don't know if I could tell you. I don't know if I could articulate it. But I see this and I go, yeah, I prefer that. I prefer that. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't look at these and be like, this needs the color around the entire border. Right? I'm not gonna cat. I didn't think that. And a lot of it is because I like they do the old Duel Masters thing that I really like of how have some of the boxes just like go into the black border and have them like extend into it naturally with this like with the force and with the things. Duel Masters Cost and Power did this and stuff like I really like a lot. So that's probably why I didn't even like really think about it. But when moving all of these numbers to down here, maybe I would notice it more. But I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really like notice like, man, I wish these had the borders. But now that I see these, I'm like, yeah, no, I really like it with the borders around them. I really do. To leave the card frame. Also that, right? So and then I can go into my whole card frame discussion, but I love one of my biggest things with card frames, and one of my favorite things about card frames is being able to have cards and characters break out of the frame and extend past the frame to the borders of the arts. Like this for example, how she like busts out of the frame. I think it looks really cool, and I like it a lot compared to like a lower rarity card that is more confined to its card frame. I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of it. Your version of Future Sight, it does kind of look like Future Sight, but I like it. I'm a big fan of it. I like it a lot. I don't point on the edgy look. You can tell the color, right? It helps with fan. Like when you can just like very quickly fan your hand out and see exactly what colors the cards are in your hand. Which like if you want to get pedantic, all of these cards, right? If I pick up all these cards and I get a hand, yeah, those are fire. Yeah, all of the colors are in the symbols, right? It's like I can see what color the cards are. Technically, if I look closely, and I can see the costs. But I think it's something aesthetically about it of having everything about this side of the card being the color, just works for me. It just works. It just works for me. I don't know how to describe it. Ugh. What's this supposed to be? Preparing a social check for tournament tomorrow. So this is new Kickstarter coming out called Eikonic. Let me go back to the top. Kickstarter launched today, so you can back it right now. It's like a tactical JRPG card game. So speaking of sorcery, it is now like the second grid-based TCG. So it's also a grid-based TCG, much in the way of sorcery. It has similar leaders, And it has a similar-ish bit of if you kill the leader, you win the game, right? If you kill your enemy's commander or whatever you want to call them, you win the game. The thing that Iconic does is, A, the resource system is different. But if you like Sorcerer, you might like the grid-based game. The unique thing that Iconic introduces, let me use good art, hold on, is this thing up here called the Combat Compass. If you want to attack with a card, or you want to, like, interact with anything, this card can only, like, attack or interact with things that its Combat Compass points to. So if it's here on your grid, and this card wants to attack, it can only hit this square, this square, this square, or this square. It kind of has this little, like, knight pattern to it. Let me try to put this back a little bit. So glad this is a cloth playmat, so I can actually, like, scrunch it up in the back like this, and it fits on the desk. That's really nice. So she can only interact with this and this. So the combat in this game is really cool. The other thing it does, it steals from the Naruto... I shouldn't say steals. Uses a mechanic from a long-dead game, but a very, very good mechanic, of Naruto's combat system. Sort of like FF8's TCG? I don't know. I haven't played the FF8 TCG, but probably... maybe characters in this game, instead of having like a health stat, they just have 2 lives or 2 health. When your character takes 1 point of damage, they become wounded and they go sideways. Going sideways matters in 2 different things. Oh, triple triad. It's like a grid like triple triad, but it doesn't really play like triple triad. Not really. It's almost like, yeah, the combat, kind of? So the way the combat works, we'll talk about combat. Let's blow up this little elf girl. And then we're gonna go, let me get something cool looking. Oh, I have all the spells on top, that's why I'm confused. Let's go, that doesn't have support. This guy. Woodland Archer. Yeah, okay, perfect. Okay, so let's say this Divine Archer wants to attack, right? Our opponent's got this stupid elf on their board, and we want to blow her up. First off, the Divine Archer can only attack with things her Combat Compass points to. So anything here, so we can attack her. This game is a bigger number wins game. You compare the left stat to the left stat in your opponent's card. Oh no, we only have 3 and our opponent has 4. What are we going to do? Luckily, as you'll notice, there are 2 numbers here. The left stat is for the lead unit, or the unit making the attack. The right stat is for the support stat. Whenever you make an attack, any of your units that are in a zone that your Combat Compass points to become a support unit for that fight. So, our Divine Archer points back to the left to this guy, which means this guy will join the party in this fight. So we're attacking this elf. Our Woodland Archer will join the party, and he'll give the Divine Archer his support stat. You can kind of line them up like this to kind of calculate a bit better. So now our Divine Archer, the party, has a combat stat, has a combat like total of 5, which beats our opponent's elf. So since we've won the fight, because they only have 4, right, and we have 3, and they have nothing to support them, they get wounded, right? They'll take a damage, so it'll turn sideways. Now you'll notice there's a second set of stats on the side of the card. So all of the characters have their base stats when they're healthy, but once they get injured and they turn sideways, they switch to their injured stats, which are typically weaker than their main stats. Now, there's going to be probably some cards that get stronger when they get hit, right? That's the thing you could do, but for the most part, they'll get weaker when they're injured. So now, this elf has to use her little dinky 1/1 stats for the rest of the game. And then, if we ever end up hitting her again, right, then she'll die, and we'll capture her. And one of the ways of winning the game is you can either A, deal your opponent's icon damage equal to their force, which in this case is 7. All of the units have this little force value on the bottom. This is how much damage they deal to icons, right? So you can either deal 7 damage to your opponent's leader, kill them, and win the fight, because you've destroyed your opponent's army's general. Or you can kill their units. Whenever you kill a unit, you capture it, and it goes to your little capture zone, which is this red bit over here. And once you've accumulated 10 points worth of units, you win the game. So you can try to either like bum rush your opponent early and blow up their leader and win the game, or you can kind of play this like battle of attrition, slowly killing all of their units and taking them until you've scored 10 points worth of units. So there's a couple different ways to like approach fighting, and it's really cool. The other important thing about getting injured is that so when your card rotates, not only do your stats change, but if you'll notice, your combat compass also changes, right? So if you have this elf, right, she can attack and get support from this, and this zone, right? But if she gets injured, her combat compass rotates, and now she attacks and gets support from this, and this zone. Which means that if you so like by injuring someone's unit, you can really mess up how their like combat changes, how their math works, right? If my board is like this, right, these units are kind of supporting each other. I can attack with my elf and she'll get support from this guy. If you injure my elf, she's no longer pointing to this guy. She's pointing here, here, and here. So when she fights, she's not going to get support from this dude. So now if I want support, I'm going to have to fight with this guy because his compass still points to her. So it can really change how your team structures work. An important thing also to note about fighting, right? So you'll fight like your team versus your opponent's team typically. So it'll be kind of like this, right? Let's say like this elf has a little wolf buddy off to her right supporting, and I'm fighting like this. Sure. And I'm fighting like this, right? Our parties fight. If your party does 5 or more damage to the opponent's party, if you're 5 bigger, right? So in this case, we're not 5 bigger, right? But let's say like these were like an 8 and these guys only made a 3 or 5 bigger. That's called an overwhelming victory. And instead of taking 1 damage, whoever the lead character is takes 2 damage, instantly dies, and every supporting character takes 1 damage. So you can try to go like super tall and like blow up teams, which is really cool, and I like a lot. I never got to enjoy Naruto TCG, right? It's a shame. Most of us didn't. I was definitely way too young, right? I didn't know about card games back then. I really hard in Naruto Z though. Such a cool game. Yeah, that's unfortunate. For the night deck last time I saw it, yeah. Chaotic should be cool. I'm excited for Chaotic. But yeah, the combat in this game is super, super sick. So like, there's a lot to think about when you're like moving your units around, and when you're like determining like what do you want to attack with, who you want to be like your main leader person, and then once your thing gets hit, all your stuff's gonna change. Your stats change, and the zones you influence change. So it's all stuff you kind of gotta keep track of and be aware of. So it's really, really cool. I like it a lot. When Naruto came out, I had already been so burned by Sony IP and seeing my chance. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. You really missed out. The game was really cool. That game was really cool. But yeah, this is Iconic. If you're interested, go give it a look on Kickstarter. It is live right now. And it's really cool. I like it a lot. Let's go back to looking at the Kickstarter. I want to see what the stretch goals are. So we have completed. We get the art. We get the new secret rare alt art variants, which is very cool. This is the Tabidi full art. I don't know how to pronounce that. That everyone is going to get. That's really cool. We got the Hairheim collection, whatever that means. 6 alternative art resource cards created by the artist Hairheim will be added to the set. Full art added to Iconic Adventure and above tier. Ooh, okay, so these are those alt art orbs that we're getting. Nice. I'm glad we cleared that. And then we just cleared this, the Venora full art campaign exclusive promo. Ooh. Oh, you can get a Betrayal the Dark Knight premium playmat. That sounds cool. Then a secret stretch goal. Alternate attack voucher. Okay. Tabiti? Yeah, that's what Tabiti? Tabiti? I'm putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable. That's for sure. I added to all backer tiers. Everybody gets Venora. If you do the Adventurer and above, you get the serialized signature version. That's kind of fancy. But I do kind of want the Venora full art. This is an Tabiti. Or Tabiti. Ah.
Empire Youth 5791 has donated $4.99 and says actually, you can wound a unit messing up its support line and ironically go get rotated, idiot.
You can just say get rotated. and just completely brick someone's entire game plan. It's really funny. So you do have to be careful about that. And then we get more stretch goals at 100K. Kickstarter's alt art made by... Ooh. You can vote for a Kickstarter exclusive alt art. That's super cool. That's has actually happened during testing, right? Like, sometimes you just blow like, get rotated, nerd, and you're like, my combat compass, no! That's cool. Yeah, I bet there's a bunch of, like, really cool, like, swingy blow-up plays you can do. Where you just, like, dismantle somebody. That's gotta feel pretty good. Like, that's gotta feel pretty awesome. So, yeah, if you guys want, go check it out. You can get just the dual starter deck, which is what I was showing you guys today. Are these two decks. You can get a booster box, which might be what I might pick up a booster box. I think I'm going to pick up a booster box. I at least want to open the game. It looks really cool. And then you get, and then there's a bunch of other stuff, bunch of fancy things that you can also get and pick up. Ooh, full art of this. Ooh, that's cool. If I go details, will it show me like larger art? No, it just shows you what it comes with. Okay. That's fair. But yeah, no, game looked great. Guys, go check out Iconic. Very cool. And very unique. Biggest thing is that game, like, I've hit a point in life where I've looked at so many games, I'm low-key becoming unk, and I've gotten to a point where if it looks like Magic and smells like Magic and it doesn't look like Duel Masters, art-wise, it's not sick anime art, low-key already out the door. Not gonna lie, kind of already not interested. So, I really like seeing games that look and feel very different from what is already on the market. And luckily, Eikonic is one of those games. This game, I can think of nothing like it, honestly. There's sorcery, but I would argue with how sorcery's art and distribution is handled, it's almost its own, like, genre of game. It is made for such a very specific person that, like, I think if you made a game that, like, I mean, I shouldn't say looks like sorcery because then you'd get boned, right? But if you made a game that kind of, like, feels like sorcery, that wouldn't be in the worst thing in the world because it's made for very specific people, right? So, like, sorcery but anime is for a very different audience, right? That does capture a very different audience. Magic but anime, not that different of an audience. There's definitely some, but not that many. Sorcery but anime, very different audience. So hopefully we can see some success from Eikonic. I'd love to see Eikonic do well. I think, like, in terms of, like, there's not a lot of other original IP games on the market. First and foremost, they pretty much all have big IPs behind them. I think I know what that is, but it's supposed to be bad. Hold on. Wait, what was I saying? I'm not gonna lie, I don't even remember what I said. But I do know what I want to talk about. Let me move this playmat so I can have my keyboard back on the desk. So I can type away. But this mat is so nice. I've never seen a big mat like this, like the bandana material mat. It's really cool. I'm a big fan. Just gonna fold it properly. In this way. There we go. Very nice. Ugh. All right. I need my keyboards back. Sorcery but anime. I mean, this game. I'm trying to think if there's any others. Who that? The cloth mask, like, which one against Tomato Cloth? Yeah, honestly. And it's so nice for it's so smart for this game too, because it's a material that's, like, pretty cheap to produce. But this is a game where, like, your starter kind of has to come with a semi-decent 2-player playmat. Most games can get away with no mat because the zones aren't a requirement, so you can just toss a paper playmat in there and be like, whatever, they're not going to use a paper, they're not going to use a zone mat anyway. But this is a game where, like, you require the zones, and you kind of need to give people those zones. They're not, like, super, like, it's not like pull out any playmat you have and it's good to go. You kind of need the zones, so you kind of have to provide players with that. And because of how the grids work, you kind of need it to be a 2-player mat. You could do a 1-player mat and have it just cut in half and slide them together, but it's way more nice, especially with a grid and you're moving all over your opponent's mat too, to just have it be a 2-player mat. So this is a really elegant way of providing people with a 2-player mat that isn't going to just immediately fall apart after you play with it for about a week, right? That's the thing. Dude, I love Battle Spirits. It's like the greatest game ever made. Not Battle Spirits Saga. Wait. Yes, I have played Battle Spirits. I forgot I had my purple proxy deck right here. No, I freaking love Battle Spirits. It's like one of the best games ever. But yeah, the Rise TCG, I'll type that in. Why not? Why the heck not? So yeah, I'll have to see. What I don't know if we're gonna be getting. So, get to see me play the game. Well, that's the thing. I can try. Iconic gameplay. The problem is my play group right now is already a little overloaded on different games. I would feel bad forcing them to play a like 17th. So if they show interest in it, I'm happy to film some Iconic games and post that on the channel. But I'm not going to attempt to force that on them. Because we are a little overwhelmed at the moment, unfortunately. But maybe one day. Iconic gameplay, maybe one day. I think what would actually be better is after yeah, right. Once the Kickstarter ships and I get like a booster box, it'll be fun to like crack a booster box and build some decks out of that and like jam some like kitchen table games. I think that would be really fun. I would do that, right? I think I would do that, and they'd be way more down for that too. So that could be chill. That could be something I could do. But yeah, I got BS, but on DS. Oh, like the old DS games. Yeah, Battle Spirits is a really good game. I mean, it sucks that Bandai treated it the way they did in America. That's really unfortunate, but it is what it is. Game's great. What is this? Oh, what the heck? This is AI? This is AI, isn't it? This is AI. This is just not the right thing. That doesn't even look like a TCG. What the heck was that? What if I do r/rise? No, it's the same thing. I don't know about that one, boss. No? Okay. Yeah, I'm like this. I don't think this is what we're talking about. I don't think this is what we're talking about. Oh, this is AI. It's just French? Okay. Okay. Maybe that's the thing, too. Chat, you need a pretty consistent style to make people not think your game is AI. Is AI or French? You need a pretty like not even like consistent, but like distinct style, right? You're gonna want a pretty distinct style just to avoid the people being like, oh, that's gonna be AI, and it's because it's just like random. Oh, I have seen this. I've seen this on Kickstarter. And then I looked at it. Yeah. Okay, yeah. They were just a little all over the place and a little too, like, generic. We do have to coin that. We might have to coin not AI, just French. That's fair. Yeah, it's a little... Oh, I guess if it's themed and these are but even then, it's a little... I don't know. Binding of Isaac? What the... Yeah. Not something I'm really rocking with, unfortunately. Ooh. What's up? It's supposed to be not great, but I love the look. I guess it's fair. You can't place the images on Kickstarter. Yeah. You did both idea card if you're trying to zoom in on earlier. Oh, okay, sick. Yeah. The Kickstarter wasn't letting me like see images. Oh, it's not. I think I have to go to my own stream and pull it up. But yeah. For the Battle Spirits thing, I tried to teach my friends Eternal and it was a little too much for them. And then we played a bit of Standard and they liked Standard a lot more. They enjoyed Standard a lot more. I'm on my channel. Let me go. Your channel. I think I have to grab the link from my own stream. Because it wasn't popping up in my OBS. Oh, unless like YouTube doesn't allow links? Maybe? Oh, that might be what it is. Yeah, it might just be that YouTube chat doesn't allow links or something. How long until oh no, I paused it. I was gonna say, when do I get Streamception? I think you have to copy and paste it. Copy and paste what? There's nothing here. Right? Yeah. I'm not going crazy. Am I going crazy? Oh, I'll like Empire Super Chat. Heck yeah. Ah, there we go. Ah, see Twitch. That's why Twitch is the GOAT. Twitch isn't the GOAT. I think people actually like I found out people this I don't know why it surprised me because I never thought about it too hard, but it did kind of surprise me that people seem to vastly prefer YouTube streaming to Twitch. Which is kind of crazy. Yeah, there's the idea. Yeah, guys, if you want a reason to go check out the game, you can get this thing. This card looks awesome. This card looks awesome. I look into the mirror dimension. I love the Streamception thing. When you say Eternal, I just think Eternal card game. Yeah. No, Eternal Battle Spirits Eternal format. As in like vintage. But yeah. No, this card looks so good, man. This card looks so cool. Oh, this thing looks awesome. No, it's really not fair. Like, Bandai, I hate Bandai so much. Like, you're telling me we couldn't have just waited a couple years and just gotten standard. Imagine we got standard in English. Greatest game on the planet. It would have been the greatest game ever. It would have been the Magic Killer. It would have been the Magic Killer. But no, we get Battle Spirit Saga. It's just Magic but dumb. Oh, standard Battle Spirits would have went so hard. That would have been so cool. Oh, I love that game so much. But this looks really good. I'm a huge fan of this. And then you can get the shiny version. The Rainbow Sparkle Foil. Their foiling goes crazy. Do they have other art? Does Viney got other art? Everyone's dropping their videos now. This thing looks awesome. This Anubis guy, I think his card is in the card gallery image thing that's down. I think I remember. Yeah, this guy. Look at that. Look at that. That looks cool. I just like the green. The greens with the blacks and the golds. It's clean. It's so clean. This chick's awesome. I'm excited to get the full art out of the Kickstarter. She looks beautiful. She's in a lot of the promo images. This guy looks sick. Right? This is another case of like, oh, the art style's kind of the art style's kind of. I'd be like, shut up, who cares? It looks freaking awesome. I think you can. So when I talk about clashing art styles, I think you can rule of cool art styles, right? I think you can rule of cool it. So there's a difference between like clashing somewhat random looking art styles that just kind of don't mesh well, and then there's rule of cool, sick, awesome art. Who cares? And like this falls into that. Of like, if I wanted to be like internally logically consistent, I'd be like, yeah, technically this isn't really the same art style as everything else. I don't care. This looks awesome. Right? Actually, the traditionally created image for him, and you can win throughout the Kickstarter. Yo, because yeah, this does look like someone just busted out a sketchbook and drew this. Like it looks like this looks sick, right? And yeah, it is the strongest rule of them all. There's no beating the rule of cool, right? Every argument can be immediately dismantled or like exceptionized by the rule of cool, right? Does this look like like all the other cards? No, but it looks freaking awesome. Who cares? It looks bad. It looks bad. You know what I mean? I think that works. I think that really works. I think you're allowed to have flashing art. And also alt arts. Also, you can do whatever you want. That also works because it's an alt art. It's an alternative art. You know? So it looks like Anubis from Record Ragnarok. True. Playing Azuki. Don't play Azuki. I don't have time to get into how much I hate that game, but I do not support that game. By any means. I do not support that game at all. Azuki is like the it's the like what's the word? The result of everything that is wrong with TCGs today, and most of that is due in part by One Piece. Oh, it's literally I could have just tabbed over. It's right here. You can get the. That would be sick framed. This thing framed on your wall, that would go hard. Dude, that looks awesome. Yo, that's cool. That's really cool. I like that a lot. That looks really cool. Enters you for the drawing to win. Oh. That's dope. That's really dope. I'm a big fan of that. I'm a really big fan of that. Let me guess, your friend heads exploded when you try to teach them Grandwalker. Fun fact. I actually don't think I have it. No, I don't have it sleeved up. I have... Wait, what is this? Oh, it's all standard now. So, fun fact. When I went to proxy all the decks, I proxied up the newest... what was at the time the newest wave of them. The newest like arc, and I proxied because it was like I proxied up 2 decks for every color. It's like kind of the way they print them. Because originally I taught my college roommates with BS60, which is when they introduced contracts, and that was the playing BS60 constructed format was the most fun I've ever had playing a card game in a long time. So I was like, oh, I'll just do that again, but with like whatever the new wave is, whatever the new saga they're on is. So I did that. I proxied 12 decks. Sleeved them up, shuffled them up, and I'm like, all right, I should probably learn a couple of these just to be able to play competently. And I started playing them. A, they were kind of broken, but B, I was like, there's no way they're gonna understand what a Grandwalker Nexus is. Also, all these Grandwalker Nexuses also have like 3 effects on them in addition to the whole Grandwalker Nexus thing. I can't do this. So I threw it all away, and I just printed all the contract decks again. I just printed all the old contract decks again. I was like, this is fine. Even that was a little much for them. Because some of the later contract cards are a little busted. But I was like, yeah, they're not. There's no way I'm teaching them how a freaking Grandwalker Nexus works. That's just not gonna happen. Unfortunately. Cutchurns is fine in my opinion. I guess half the reason sorcery even works. I understand if you think... Okay, I don't think sorcery has clashing art styles. Type in chat right now 2 sorcery arts that you think clash. And I will explain to you why I think they don't, probably. Unless they're cards I've never... But granted, I've only seen, like, probably a collective of 20 sorcery cards, so who knows? They might actually clash. But I would put a Kalshi bet on I don't think they actually clash. And what I'm talking about is a little bit different. Once you get the 4 copies of them, especially in the OG. Like, I think that's great, too. That it's not just, like, the tier is only a ticket. People aren't going to do that. You also get the full art. It's a full art and a chance for the prize. Like, that's awesome. Like, this thing on its own is sick. I would be super happy to just get this. And you get a chance to get the print. No, that's a W tier. That's a super W tier. Did I mention they are so homogenized they all seem it was done by the same person? Yeah. Granted, I think I would probably argue that, like, the homogenization of Magic isn't really a problem. Oh, this guy's cool. Poseidon? I'm building that deck. Whatever this... If this guy can be in a deck, it's just a $5 add-on? Chat, what a deal. Actually, what a deal. Never mind. She's sick. Goddess of the Wind. She looks like a dragon. No. She has my favorite colors of all time. She got that blue, green, teal look to her. She got my favorite aesthetic ever with the white. Like, oh, with the teal sash and the white. They printed the Bacon Saver waifu. I mean, that looks awesome. Looks like a Nubatama guy casting a spell with the fire, but that's awesome. Oh, Ninja Art Flame Prism? That's sick. That's sick. They printed The Bacon Saber waifu. Do you like Peacock? That's like too many colors. That's too many color and too much. That's too much going on. Peacocks are too much. I like one of the colors on a peacock, but overall, that's too much going on. But I love these, like the teal and the white. This is my jam. Either that or teal and black. Teal and white or teal and black. Or teal and gray. Any of those three. But mostly teal and black and teal and white. That's my jam. And then the teal like fire. Or like the cerulean fire, whatever you want to call it. She does have the peacock staff. She do be having that. And got the feathers, but oh dude, this looks, I want the full art of this. Give me this full art. Give me this full art. Oh, that looks sick. This guy's also, Poseidon's also really, really cool. Poseidon's also like super sick. And so is this guy. This guy's dope. This guy's super dope. Man, oh, that's my color scheme, dog. I gotta get that. I gotta get that. Alright, let me look up these sorcery cards. You can pull the serialized full or whatever. I'm gonna have to do that. It's gambling time. It's gambling time. It's gonna be gambling time. So, I don't really think that these clash in the definition that I use the word clash. And maybe it's important to highlight that, right? Because I think that these both look like sorcery cards. In that these both have art that looks like it was drawn by someone in the 90s. Right? They both look the 80s fantasy art style, and that's what sorcery is meant to be. Sorcery is meant to be for people that love Magic in the 90s, and Magic as it was in the 90s. And both of these cards look like they were drawn by someone making art in the 90s. So for me, personally, I think these fit. I think these both fit the sorcery, like, vibe and aesthetic, right? Like, if you showed me these arts, I'd be like, yeah, these are from the same game. Like, I could see them being from the same game. They're a little different, right? If you analyze them just on purely art alone and like compared them, like, yeah, there's some differences for sure. But these definitely feel like they're from the same game, especially when that game is sorcery, which is a game that's just meant to feel like a game from the 90s, right? And these both feel like they're from a game from the 90s. So to me, I would say that these don't really clash for the purposes that sorcery is going for. If you really broke it down, yeah, right? They're definitely different art styles. Like, these are clearly drawn by different artists, right? Two artists with very different styles, right? And then even to, like, that extent, sorcery is almost meant to have even more clashing art than other games. Oh, this guy looks cool, the magician. It's kind of cool. It's supposed to be even more clashing than other games because they don't even have, like, an art. I don't think they have an art director in the same way that other games do, where an art director is meant to make sure that everything is fitting the aesthetic. Sorcery's art director just finds cool artists and then just commissions artwork. And then whatever he gets, they just put on the cards. So it is meant to be like a collection of works of various artists, which is what old Magic really felt like and really was, right? Sorcery is a game that isn't really even meant to have a real consistency of style, aside from the fact that they all have to look like art that was made in the 90s. That's it. Anything else is like fair game and fits the vibe. And like, because that's the kind of vibe they're going for, and very intentionally going for. So I wouldn't say, so when I talk about like card game art clashing, what I'm referring to as if you held up two arts, I wouldn't be able to tell you that they're from the same game. Or like, I wouldn't really think they're from the same game, right? Show me any two Magic arts, like those are from Magic. Show me any like two Yu-Gi-Oh arts. I mean, like Yu-Gi-Oh, you can get a little like quirky with it because you can sort of like summon Skull and then like Sky Striker Ace Ray, right? But even then, like, that's Yu-Gi-Oh art. Right? Show me like any 2 art from a game, like you can tell what game it's from. Some games have like such a clash of styles that if I hold up 2 cards, you can't really tell that they're from like they're both from the same game. They feel like they're from different games, right? Or one game has this style and the other game has this style. Not you wouldn't assume that they're on the same thing. And I like that's kind of what I'm going for. Is like if I need to be able to show you 2 cards and you just assume, not even like I think these are from the same thing. You just assume they're from the same thing. One Piece is hard. So IP games are hard because you can't really narrow it down art style wise. Because like, even if we go back to the old Han Solo example, they're still both Han Solo. You know they're from Star Wars games, but even maybe to that extent, they look like they're from different Star Wars games. Like let me pull up Star Wars Han Solo. I typed that wrong. These are obviously both Han Solo. But, like, if you showed me these arts, maybe I would tell you they're from different Star Wars games. Maybe I'd be like, this is from this is from the Star Wars board game, and this is the Star Wars deck building game. I don't know. Right? Maybe I would say they're from different Star Wars games, to that extent, right? So I think the goal in terms of, like, art consistency is I should be able to hold up 2 cards, and you immediately assume they're from the same game, right? That's more what I would like try to go for with that in that regard. But sorry, Empire. I hope you have a good rest of your night. Thanks for coming out. I appreciate every single one of you. Bandai makes a Battle Spirit digital game. Yeah, I mean Battle Spirit's already, you know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like, it's got the Duel Master's curse. It's just dead forever now. So it's died twice. Probably, unfortunately, dead forever. But you never know. Who knows? But I would not have the highest of hopes because most likely you would get disappointed. But you never truly know. So maybe, just maybe. You play the game like Magic. That's cute. That's the joke is it's the magician, because it's like magic. I get it. You have no allies, but your spellbook may contain sites. You start with okay. Yeah. You put your lands in your deck. Cute. That's funky. Yeah. So like, back to the One Piece thing, right? One Piece kind of gets to cheat because, like, whether you have Daisuke drawing Zoro or you have a screenshot of Zoro, it's still Zoro. And One Piece uses specific artists for their alt arts than they do for the base arts, so that those feel intrinsically different, right? I don't think there are two. I don't play One Piece. I hate that game. But from my memory of the game, I can't think of 2 base rarity cards that have very clashing art styles. But even then, it's so hard to tell because it's One Piece at the end of the day. I'm gonna think they're from I'm gonna think they're from the same game because they're One Piece characters. So the IP games, it gets a little tough. But even then, to the Star Wars example, people still complained that this and this were too different, and they had to just like double down. So they stuck more with like the comic booky semi-realism aesthetic, and they completely ditched the cartoony stuff. But people were like, there was a lot of complaints about like the style was a little too all over the place. So even to the IP extent, it is important to have at least a somewhat consistent style, sort of. But yeah. When Kyle gets on, I mean, I'm surprised. I mean, I'm sure eventually, like, they already go so like deep in sets like 1 and 2. I'm sure eventually they'll get all of the niche stuff. Battle Spirits died twice. Is crazy. Yeah, but see where I like. Unfortunately, One Piece has some good art. It's because they hire all the good Japanese artists. They hire all the Duel Masters and Vanguard artists to do their art. So like, yeah, it's gonna look good. And then they get the freaking artist for Baki to do a Kaido alt art, and you're like, I can't not say that looks awesome. Like, yeah, that looks really cool. Still hate One Piece, but it looks really cool. Whatever. Because Bandai, they've revived all of their IPs. That's the thing, though, is like, that's true. But, like, it would be years from now, and they'd probably do the Bandai thing if they'd make it a different game. You know what I mean? We would get Kaiju. We wouldn't get Battle Spirits proper. We get Kaijudo'd. And after seeing Saga, I don't want that. I don't want that. Just need Battle Spirits anime pop in the West. Sorta. I mean, it would have to be like extremely popular. Like if you can get it to like Demon Slayer solo leveling levels of popular, then maybe, yeah. But it'd be tough. That'd be really tough. Also, we've learned from history that, man, I wish we had more card game anime. Card game anime is my favorite genre of all time, but unfortunately, uh, making an anime for a card game, we've learned very much not enough to make a game successful. Uh, which that's kind of a rabbit hole in and of itself. But unfortunately, we have already experimented with the idea of what if we just made an anime and then made what if we like made a card game and released it with an accompanying card game anime? Surely that would make it'd be very popular, right? And we learned, no, it does basically nothing, unfortunately, which was the saddest experiment I've ever had to experience in my entire life. But hey, it is what it is. And unfortunately means we will most likely be getting very little card game anime in the future, sadly. But yeah, dude, hobby anime goes so hard. Yeah, Gundam Build Fighters 2. I love Gundam Build. Is it Try? I actually watched Try before I watched the first season of Build Fighters. This was back when I was watching anime on my phone, on YouTube. So like same time I started watching Battle Spirits, was on YouTube. So it was those like anime in 2 parts, or like episode 1, 1 out of 2. Yeah, I didn't really like. Then I went back and watched season 1. I didn't like season 1. Try, freaking love Try, dude. I watched that first episode. I'm like, this is pretty cool. And then they got to the end, and the opening theme song kicked in during the fight. I'm like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And my brain chemistry was altered forever. No, shout out Gundam Build Fighters Try. Not only for being like the best hobby anime ever, but also having, I think, my favorite anime opening of all time. Maybe. It's up there. Gundam Build Fighters Try opening, Cerulean, but I think, is it Back On that does Cerulean? No. Back On did, the Build Fighters, the one Build Fighters opening. No, is it Cerulean? Is it Back On? I can't remember. I love Back On. Favorite anime opening of all time. At least top 5. At least top 5 favorite anime openings of all time. Gundam Build Fighters Try. Freaking love that song. Dude, I miss grounded anime. Dude, like, one of the best anime of all time, the Card Fight Vanguard anime, is peak. It's peak. And like, sure, you can add some saving the world stuff later on, but when you start, I would give anything. I would give anything for us to get an anime about a card game, and it's just people going to locals. Oh, please give me an anime that's just people going to locals. I would do anything. My headphones have been dead for like the past 30 minutes. I don't know why I still have these on. Dude, until Psycholia, I hate it. Psycholia. But I honestly, I didn't really mind it. I didn't really mind it. Tournament arcs the whole time. Yes. Or battle royales, even better. I didn't really mind it. I'm not gonna cap. I didn't really mind it. I mean, it was dumb, but it was like silly dumb. And I was just like, just give me the tournament arc. Just give me they go to Nats. Give me them going to Nats. And like, there's some Psycholia stuff, and you're like, whatever. I'm just here to watch them win Nats, you know? And it's like, so good. Is it great? Because I never watched season 1, and then I tried to watch Flame, and it just like wasn't really doing it for me. I got like a chunk of the way into Flame, but I just like it didn't like grip me. Season 1 is good? Okay. I feel like I've heard that. So I remember watching episode 1 of season 1 and going, this is a little too generic for me. Maybe it was because like Shadowverse is like a digital mobile game. It was like, I need to see my anime characters shuffling their decks and drawing cards. Right? I don't have the draw. I have the iPad dual disc draw, you know? Maybe that's what it was. But I remember Shadowverse not really doing it for me. Not gonna lie. But like, yeah, like, and that's the thing. Yeah, card game anime are the best sports anime ever. I also think, also low key vice versa. That's why sports anime are my favorite is my favorite genre of all time because it's so close to, because card game anime draws so much from sports anime. Retroactively, sports anime is my favorite anime of all time. But I actually didn't watch Beyblade Burst. Another anime, I couldn't get into it. I tried Beyblade Burst, couldn't do it. Was not for me. Maybe I just didn't like the characters. I think that's what it was. Literally, yeah, I know it's literally a sports show. I think it's too... I didn't like the characters, and it's a little too Saturday morning cartoon for me, if that makes sense. Like, I had a similar problem. Like, I tried also watching Beyblade X, and I got a chunk of the way into X, but it was the same kind of deal of it's a little too Saturday morning cartoon for me. In a way of, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's kind of also is. Like, I love the Metal Saga. I love Metal Fusion and Metal Masters, right? I love those. Don't get me started on the Haikyuu card game. Haikyuu is my favorite anime / manga of all time. I'll talk forever about Haikyuu. I got my goat Nishinoya right there. Don't get me started now. I freaking love Haikyuu. Favorite anime ever. 100%. Only sports anime I watched was Free. Free's actually really good. Free gets a crazy rap when you just, like, observe it. But, like, low-key, when you watch Free, you're like, this is a pretty good sports anime. That's actually not a bad sports anime. It's actually a pretty good sports anime. Hold on. It's not too bad. I'm a sucker for sports anime. I'll watch any sports anime. The genre conventions, they just do it for me. I don't know what it is. They get me every time. They get me every time. I love sports anime. My top 5 favorite anime of all time is probably like 60% sports anime. I'm not even gonna lie. I freaking love sports anime. Give me villains to do real life cheats like double drawing cards, stacking their deck, or just trying to be. So just give me Bandit Keith. There's Bandit Keith. There's who? What game was it? There's an anime. Was it Yu-Gi-Oh? I think, is it Yu-Gi-Oh? Is it GX? Where the character wears the robotic arm that, like, dispenses cards into their hand? Was it GX? Or was it... It wasn't Vanguard. Shoot. There was a card game anime where there was an episode where one of, like, the minor antagonists' gimmick was they strapped a robot thing to their arm, sort of like Rigby with the arm wrestling arm, and it would dispense cards down their sleeve into their hand. I forget what show it was from. I can't remember, but it was that was funny. That was really funny. When Free came out, everyone knew it was a hot anime boy show. Yeah, right. Like, it was just a hot guy show, and you're like, oh, this is kind of fruity. And then you watch it, like, wait a minute, this is actually kind of good sports anime. Good sports anime. Children turns about Inazuma 11. Dude, people still like Inazuma 11 has a Vanguard collab that we're probably gonna get in English. We're getting Inazuma 11 Vanguard. No, they adore Inazuma 11 over there. It's been going on for like forever. Like, your arm boy is crazy. We got Inazuma 11 Vanguard. Dude, I wish I could remember what show it's from. But I can't. That's gonna drive me crazy, actually. I might look it up. Hey, we have Aichi playing football. I remember that episode where he fights the football team? And Car fights against the football team? One villain for each cheat, not one that does them all. I like different kinds of cheaters. So, oh, you want to watch, Yumeko Jabami. It's, Kakegurui. You want to watch Kakegurui. Just go watch Kakegurui. Wait, just go watch Kakegurui. It's not a trading card game, it's gambling, but it's the same thing. Or I think Kaiji. Do people cheat in Kaiji? I can't remember. I haven't watched Kaiji in forever. Okay, yeah. People also cheat in Kaiji. Go watch Kaiji. Or, the Gooner version. Kakegurui. Oh, okay, yeah. I need to finish Kaiji. I don't think I ever did. I got like a couple episodes in. I need to finish that. It was really good. It was really, really good. Sorry, I was more a fan of Gooner Kaiji, aka Kakegurui. You'd love Kakegurui though. The whole bit is everyone just freaking cheats in that show. It's awesome. It's so good. What was the... I gotta look it up now. Card game. I can't type. Anime, robot arm card dispenser cheater guy. Is it even gonna come up? There's no way it actually comes up. Oh, dude. Watch me have, like, dreamed this. Kaiji dies. Don't spoil it. Brother, don't spoil it. Watch the first season of Kakegurui, liked it, and then watch season 2. Season 2 is, like, not good, but it's... oh, season 2 is with the council replacement. It's fun enough. No, season 2 is fine. Season 2 is fun enough. I like season 2. It was good. Not die. Oh, the show gets bad at the bog arc. Got it. Okay, well, it's called the bog arc. Yeah, it's ooh, bog is best. Uh-oh, contention. Maybe I have to maybe now I have to watch it to find out. Maybe now I have to watch it to find out. Man, look what you guys do. All right, now I got to go investigate. I'll be the judge of that. I think, yeah, what's the guy that cheats in G do? I'm just gonna, like, slowly reduce words until I find what I'm not gonna be able to find what I'm looking for. There's no way it's just gonna, like, come up. Oh, dude. There's, like, a non-0% chance I'm also just dreaming that this happened. But I swear it did. Why does it keep bringing up high card? They don't play high cards in this game. High card is JoJo's. High card is literally Mafia JoJo. Well, Mafia JoJo's is part 5. High card is literally JoJo's. I'm not gonna be able to find it. I just wish I remember what it was. It wasn't Vanguard. I would remember if it's Vanguard. 2 cakes. I can just have 2 cakes. Definitely wasn't Vanguard. Oh my gosh. I wonder if it was like a season of GX or something. Or was it like... Was it a manga? Maybe it was Duel Masters. I wonder if it was Duel Masters. That doesn't sound right, though. No, I don't think it was Duel Masters. Oh my gosh, that's gonna bother me. That's really gonna bother me. Whatever. Chat, do you want to hear about the anime that has basically ruined card game anime probably forever? The anime responsible for us probably not getting that many good card game anime ever again? Outside of, like, if WeCross decide, outside of, like, if an established anime already wants to, like, come back, like Battle Spirits, or, like, if WeCross wants to do something again. Who wants to dive down that rabbit hole? Oh my gosh, we've been streaming for 3 hours. I actually have to leave. Oh, dude, I always try to remember what that anime... I'm low-key, I might have just been dreaming. There's a good chance I was just dreaming. The more I think about it, I might have just been dreaming. Was it G? It was G? Okay, that makes so much more sense. So I was like, I feel like it's Vanguard, but that doesn't sound right. Because I'm only thinking of, Aichi shows. But it is. It's like early G, and it's a random episode. Oh my gosh, it was Vanguard. Because, like, when I picture it in my brain, it's in the Vanguard art style. But I can't, I'm like, Vanguard doesn't have one-off villains, so it's probably not Vanguard, but it did in G. In early G, it was much more serialized. Yes, it's this. Because they, like, get into this, like, scuffle, and that's when he, like, feels something in his arm, right? And is like, wait a second, this guy's freaking cheating. Oh my god, I love how it has it queued like I've been watching it recently. I haven't rewatched G in freaking forever. Oh, the Vanguard anime hasn't been good since G. Since G ended, the Vanguard anime has been terrible. All the V anime sucked. All of the D anime suck. The show has not been good since G ended. Even arguably the end of G was bad. Everything after Next was pretty bad. G Next was probably the last good season. But yeah, there's the Cheater Man. It's in this like random odd like locals. Dude, I miss the anime. I think it was this guy.
You're lying. I care about this game too much to let you guys keep cheating.
So they're like scuffling.
I know you
he's
guys
like arguing with them because he thinks he's cheating.
Word against
yeah, it's this kid. It's this dweeb kid. He has this like robot arm under his sleeve that he's using to dispense cards in into his hand. Oh, I'm so glad we found this. So he gets the there's a bunch. So yeah, which classic idiot. Why would you at 4 you're no guarding a grade 3? What are you doing, you moron? But you know, kind of his own fault. And then Chrono yells at him, and he's like, "I think this guy's got something up his sleeve. I think you got cards up your sleeve, nerd. No way!" And then he argues with the other guy, and they fight.
Hey, wait! Don't.
This other game is in an irreparable game state because you somehow sent cards flying everywhere. So Chrono gets DQ'd. And also, like, ruins this kid's game. Game loss or something. They DQ Chrono. That game gets a game loss for an irreparable game state. And then, what is it? Shion cracks the code. He's like, I saw you holding your shoulder every time you went to play a card. And like Tokuha for real, I like for the long, I was like, I think I'm just dreaming this. I could not figure out where this is from. It's from G. Yeah, and then the judge has to like report to the council about like, yeah, there was this cheater in the tournament. Chrono caught him, but we had to DQ him because the kid flopped. Oh, dude, G was wild. Oh, G was so wild. Oh my goodness. I don't want to make it for locals next to me. That's crazy. I mean, you can try it. Remember, you have to have a buddy with you, though, to go distract the judge every time you gotta click the button, right? So make sure you have a teammate with you that you're colluding with that can distract the head judge so no one will be the wiser. No, that's crazy. That's crazy. Divines is just like lame and boring, and all the characters are bland and stupid and bad. CV Vet got mad at me for not liking Divine. Well, Vanguard players are stupid idiots, so you know. Get away with them, Arcana. Apparently Riftbound too, from what people have been talking about. No, it's crazy. Hey, also, I mean, we have takebacks at Magic World, so you know anything's possible. You know, anything can happen now, but. Alright, that's a good note to end the stream on. The unlocking of the ancient CFV memory. The G cheater. Wow, I'm low-key shocked that was even real. I was convinced I was just making that up the entire time. But yeah. People cheating on the kind of and Riftbound. Yeah, there was like a recent Riftbound thing of a guy was stacking his decks, he was shuffling. He did the classic shuffle sideways, look at the bottom card, and then stack it on the top. Ooh. Really riveting stuff going on, you know, over in Riftbound land. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, that's gonna do it, gang. So I gotta leave and go to bed. So it's been like 3 hours. But go if you're interested at all. Go check out Eikonic. It's a cool game. I think it's cool. I like it a lot. I'm a fan. I'm definitely. I like their card. Also, I don't know if I showed the card back. I like how it's kind of clean. I like how simple and clean it is. It just kind of like, it's one of those things where it's just like, it just hits. It's just nice. It's nice and, I don't even want to say simple. It's just clean. You know, I think that's the word I want. It's clean. Simple and clean. Kingdom Hearts reference. But I'm a fan. But yeah, I like it. I think I might order a booster box or something that I can like open on the channel when the Kickstarter ends and that all ships out. So that sounds fun. And I like the way the cards look. They look really cool. And then I can build some like kitchen table decks and jam some games for fun. But yeah. I stream this weekend is a really good question. I am going to a Learn to Play Warlord event Saturday with some friends, so that's going to be fun. So I'll see what time I get back from that. I might do like a late night Saturday because I need to play more KH2. Has anyone else's timeline been like this? My one friend sent me one tweet of some guy that also is playing all of the Kingdom Hearts games for the first time on stream. Wow, stole my bit, whatever. I'm way ahead of him. He like just finished KH1. We gotta speed up though. I can't be getting caught up to. But like my friend sent me this one tweet and I said, "Guys, steal my bit," and I looked at it once. Now my entire timeline is Kingdom Hearts stuff. What the heck? How did that happen? Literally, my entire now actually it's all gonna be covered up by. Here we go. So like my entire timeline is Kingdom Hearts. Now, granted, it's gonna be covered up by the announcement of 2XKO dying literally today. So that's gonna be at the top. But if I scroll down, I guarantee you. So it's 2XKO, 2XKO, Yu-Gi-Oh, 2XKO, Kingdom Hearts. Boom, Kingdom Hearts. Everyone's replaying Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts. I know it just had a big reveal. I know it had the KH4 reveal. And maybe that's just what it was. But it only popped up on my timeline when I looked at that one tweet my friend sent me. And now it's my entire timeline. Now, granted, a lot of it now is 2XKO news. Because that game got killed today. Like, how did it die? That game has been in development for like 10 years. They've been making 2XKO for like 10 years. And then it died in like less than one. That's insane. Riot Games is cooked. But look, KH2, Kingdom Hearts stuff. I have to save this. That's a hilarious meme, but I'll save it on my phone. I'm collecting these images. I think they're the funniest thing ever. It's so much 2XKO. Sephiroth, that's not really KH2. Okay, it's all 2XKO. 2XKO in the CEO. Okay, 2XKO. Okay, Jean Grey. So then some X-Men stuff. That's normal. The CEO. Okay, where's my Kingdom Hearts stuff? It's all the Kingdom Hearts stuff got replaced by 2XKO. But I promise you earlier, it was literally nothing but Kingdom Hearts. It was so weird. And now it's all gone. And replaced by 2. There it is. There's some Kingdom Hearts. Sonic had a Keyblade? Yeah, that kind of counts. But it's all people playing it. I'm bummed that it's not coming up now. Is it Haikyuu sleeves? I need these. Oh, I need these. Haikyuu sleeves? Fukurodani and Karasuno. And the name that's really long that I can't pronounce because I forget what it is. Yo, I need those. I need those in my life. The only problem is, they're going to be standard size. And I hate using standard size art sleeves because I hate double sleeving standard size cards. My hands are too small. I hate double sleeve standard size cards. But, ooh, I might have to make an exception for these. Oh, that's so cool. But the Kingdom Hearts Keyblade coat. This is from the announcement. That doesn't really count towards the trend I'm referring to. This is probably still more newer stuff. But I swear, my timeline was like, it's this guy. This is the guy that was sent to me. And all I'm seeing is people clowning on this exact clip from Chain of Recom. Now, to be fair, a lot of people are clowning on this guy. Like, all right, a lot of people are clowning on this guy for this clip, being like skill issue, because the whole thing is he like plays this slight, right? He does the thing, and Cloud just swerves the combo. Right? He goes to hit him, and Cloud just jumps it, and then kills him on the crackback. And a lot of people are like, stupid idiot. Why would you try to do this when you're at low health? I'm gonna defend this man real quick. As a experienced Chain of Memories newcomer, I low-key understand this. Because if you haven't like already done the Cloud fight, right? If you haven't already done the Cloud fight, and you're not familiar with his movement, right? Look at him. He's so low. That's like one shot, right? That's like one shot. So obviously, what are you gonna heal? He's one shot. Why would I heal when I can kill him? No, I'm gonna spam the nearest slight, right? So he probably can't because I have a Simba that's 6 up. I'm gonna spam the closest slight, right? And he's gonna die. He's gonna freaking get one tapped. He can't beat this. Look, he's trying to play 1s and 3s. He's not beating my slight. So you play the slight. Now, granted, Simba slight really slow, which we know. Simba slight really knows. You play the Simba slight and he dies. Right? Boom. Simba. Alright. Combo. Kills him. It's over. How is he supposed to know he was just going to jump over it? It's not like there's another human on the other side of the screen. You can't anticipate that. Right? Bro went for game and didn't go as planned. Right? I'm like, I can't blame him. I think I would do, you know what I mean? It's like, I would do the same thing. I would have done exactly the same thing. I can't blame him. Look at his HP. Who needs to heal when he's dead? Right? Don't gotta heal if the boss is dead. I think it's fair. And a lot of people were like, bro, the heal card was right there. No, it wasn't. Because at the start of the clip, right? He plays this slight. He's resolving this slight. So he's gone bonk bonk ice and his ice blasting. He's resolving this slight. He's one tap, dude. He's one tap. Yeah, I'm just gonna build the next slight and kill him. So you go immediate slight, and play the slight. And then after you play the slight, that's when you see that the cure card's right there. Now, granted, you get to build your own deck. So, like, yeah, you should probably know where your cards are. So you should be able to know where the cure is and to tab over to it. But it's not like he saw the cure card, went, I'm not going to play that. I'm going to kill him instead. No. He saw big slight next. He said, I'm just going to go Simba Slight. Simba Slight, kill him. He's one shot, Simba Slight, kill him. I get it. I think it's valid. I think it's, I would have done the same. You know, call me, tell me I have a skill issue. I would, and then there's more Kingdom Hearts. There's more Kingdom Hearts right there. Right there. Everyone's playing Kingdom Hearts. Too bad I'm the trendsetter. I started doing this a month ago. I started this. I had the idea first. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe people are posting... I punched the mic. Maybe people are posting stuff from a while ago. I don't know. But I was like, my entire time was people playing Kingdom Hearts. And I was like, shoot, maybe I should have been posting clips. No, I would not have remembered to do that. So it's fine. But yeah, like, I would have done the same. I would have done the same thing. I can't blame the guy. I can't clown on him for that. Go watch this YouTube video. Someone, I don't know who this is, but they made a video talking about Eikonic, so go watch their video. Who is this? Oh, Tactics content creator. Oh, did they play Indie Tactics? Okay. Oh, they play tactical games. Oh, they play XCOM games. Okay. Cute. Go check that out. Gotta post goes on the hype train. I can't do that. I feel zero motivation to hop on a hype train. I'll never do it. I don't think I can do it. Maybe I could if I really forced myself. No, that's too much effort. I have to go back through the streams, clip it, and then post it to hop on the hype. That's too much work for me. That's way too much work for me. I'm good. That's too much work. Now, I will go back through a Rainbow Six Siege stream and clip those because those videos make me laugh. Not consistently, but sometimes I will boot up my TikTok and I will just go watch my old R6 clips because they make me chuckle. I don't have any, like, I don't feel the same need. More Kingdom Hearts! I don't feel the same need to go back through and look at Kingdom Hearts clips and clip that. I probably should. Cyberpunk Edge Runners 2 trailer. Ooh. I probably should do that. But I don't feel like it. So I'm not going to. What I should do, if I was smart, I would make I played through Kingdom Hearts 1 video, and it's me recapping the playthrough, and then I recap the Chain of Memories playthrough, and then I make videos on the Kingdom Hearts 2 playthrough, and I make a series, and then I compile them all into one big video. If I was a good YouTuber, that's what I should be doing. Maybe I'll do it one day if I'm really bored and I want to sit down and go back through the KH1 playthrough and write a script. That's a lot of work. I don't know if I got that in me. But could be good. Watching your own clips is low-key wild. I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe I am crazy for this, but like my mentality, especially when I make videos, is like I only make videos that I would want to watch. And like the way I deem whether or not a video is good is whether or not I would want to watch it. Like, chat, I will never post a video that I wouldn't watch myself, if that makes sense. Like, I'm never gonna fart out stuff that I wouldn't watch. Loke, one of the reasons is this a reason? I don't know if it is a reason, because it happened way before. But one night I was really bored. It was like 2 a.m. I couldn't sleep, and I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I went back and I rewatched all my old Universes deck profiles, and it made me feel heckin' nostalgic. And I was like, dang, I was low key cooking with the Funny Punch deck. Actually, you know what? That's a good example. Watching my own clips, for me, watching my own clips feels like watching your own home family videos. I think that's how I get the same feeling from that, if that makes sense. The R6 TikToks, I genuinely just like watching. Those ones I genuinely just love. I think they're so funny. But the UVS deck profiles, I was just straight up watching those for nostalgia. And it was fun. It was really fun. So I think that's how I describe it. I watch my old stuff like you watch like your old family videos, where I was like, man, I was on something else back then. But the R6 clips, I will genuinely just boot up to watch for fun. I think they're so funny. But yeah, that's about it. I've been streaming for way too long, guys. I am going to head out. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for coming out and watching the stream. Hope you give Eikonic a look. I think the game was pretty cool. Shout out to them for sending me the demo decks. Hopefully I get to play a game with them or something. That could be fun. But with that being said, I will see you guys maybe Saturday night if I want to play some KH2, or maybe Sunday. I can't remember if I'm doing stuff Sunday or not. I don't think I am. So potential surprise stream Saturday or Sunday. So keep your eyeballs peeled. But I appreciate the W stream. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Goodbye, everybody!